Good evening and welcome, one and all, to Pacific414 Pop Talk movie discussion, The Big Lebowski. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're talking about an incredible Coen Brothers movie, The Big Lebowski, which starred Jeff Bridges and John Goodman, along with Julianne Moore. And joining me tonight for this great discussion are Baron Norman Tag.
Hey man, I'm getting a rug out of this, right, man?
Well, yeah, man. We'll talk out after the show, man.
Okay, cool.
Only if it ties the room together. Only if it
Yes.
ties the room together.
Okay. Good.
Also joining us this evening is Whoopa Troopa.
I like your style, Mike.
Thanks, man. I dig your style too. Also joining us is Cash Money 007.
Yeah, man, I want a rug too, man. Heck yeah. Be a good idea.
Just grow out your hair, man.
Also joining us this evening is the Smoking Patriot.
This is gonna finally be the thing that kills my car.
And also a special guest for this evening is Pops.
I'm not interested in a rug. I'm here for a marmot. I was promised a marmot. That's all I'm asking for.
Let me guess. You wrote a ransom note, and it was in a way where you wanted to make it appear that it was from men who didn't amount to anything, any kind of success.
Man, dude, you're like killing my buzz, Mike. Like I'm just here for a marmot, dude. Like, dude, man.
Check his pinky toe.
So, gentlemen and ladies in the chat, tonight we are talking about The Big Lebowski. Now, for some of us on the panel, we have seen this movie before, and it's become one of our favorites. It actually ties our movie collection together quite nicely. And for others, well, they saw it for the first time, man. And first, what I want to ask is for the newcomers, what did you think of it? Starting with Baron.
Your toe went over the line, man. Your toe went over the line.
Over the line!
Over the line!
Change it to 0.
I mean,
Market 8, dude.
If you mark it 8, you're in a world of pain.
Also, welcome, Anonymous.
da, 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 da.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it is typical Coen fare. I mean, it's disjointed, but it's meant to be. So obviously, it was done artfully and skillfully. And obviously, this is not a film for just anybody because they are out there. It's a very surrealistic film, and I don't think people nowadays really understand or comprehend or enjoy films that are surrealistic. It's something that's just a little off the wall, you might say. In comparison with even Fargo, and I suppose there'd be people that are sitting at the end there going, "Is that it?" But it's like, this is a Coen film. This is exactly what you're paying to see. Very entertaining. Jeff Bridges does a wonderful job, but he's a great actor anyways. John Goodman did a great job. Steve Buscemi, just confused as ever throughout the entire film. Everything with him was a question because he didn't know what the hell was going on. Julianne Moore showed off that cute butt of hers. I mean, that was kind of an important thing there. And
You got banana boobs.
yeah. I said butt. I didn't say anything about the boobs. I said the butt. Yeah. And even the Big Lebowski himself, if you recognize him from Blazing Saddles, amongst other stuff. Great character actor throughout time. I mean, what a great cast. A masterful way that they did directing this chaos and making it look smooth. I mean, Honestly, all the way through. I mean, this film was chaos from beginning to end. There were so many ins and outs and here and there, but yet you're able still to follow that chaos that's happening and keep it kind of riveted. It's like, okay, now what's going to happen? Now what's going to happen? And I think a lot of filmmakers should look at this film or even some of the other Coen films to get an idea how to do stuff that's not in the norm. Do something that's actually about storytelling. Do something that's just, this is how you do off the wall. But then again, a film like this couldn't be made today. Honestly, it couldn't.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you look at some of the scenes in this movie, there's no way they would fly with the Motion Picture Association nowadays and with the way Hollywood is nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, it is, in its own way, it's very politically incorrect, but in a good way. You know, it just, you could really believe this all happening. You really could. And I think we all know someone who's like the dude. I think we've all encountered or known someone who is the dude in our life. And it's like, yeah, I can identify with this guy. It's like, you're living in a house, but you don't have a job. How do you do it, man? You know?
Mhm.
Well, he's renting, but, you know,
Floating.
he's renting from Lord Crit.
He's a floater. That's
Yeah.
all he is. He's a turd on the ocean of life.
Yep. And, you know, but he had to go watch Lord Crit doing, you know, even though he wasn't able to give him his rent, had to watch him do his art on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his landlord Marty, and
Yeah. We're teasing saying that was Lord Crit. I'm saying that because he's not here.
and the next person I'm gonna ask is the Smoking Patriot.
This movie is it kind of in a similar way reminded me of Reservoir Dogs. Have you ever seen that? It's kind of like choppy, and if you're not used to that kind of film style, it's very it seems chaotic, but when you kind of almost take a step back and don't analyze it, you see a pattern, you see a flow and everything. And it's a great movie. I mean, Jeff Bridges was just, I mean, obviously he's like the big star of the film, but I gotta say, neck and neck the whole movie, John Goodman and Jeff Bridges. I mean, those two, when they're having their conversations, it is like it is quite literally just like how two dudes like in a regular conversation are. Like 1 minute you're talking about bowling, next minute you're talking about, you know, Hill 367 and Nam. The next second you're talking about whatever. You know, it was just very it felt natural. Like it wasn't staged. You know, Julianne Moore did good. I mean, everybody in this movie was great. And it was over the top, obviously, but it was funny and entertaining. You didn't take it seriously, and it was a breath of fresh air compared to modern Hollywood, because that was in the days of Hollywood where they took risks. You know, they did different film art styles and everything, and it was just a genuinely entertaining movie. And I mean, it was funny. There's too much good to be said about this movie, and especially I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm thinking Jeff Bridges, you know, all these guys. Okay, maybe, but at the end of the day, afterward, you're like, you know, that was actually pretty damn good. So yeah.
So you're saying that the conversation was like one of Mike's live streams?
Yeah. Or one of my live streams. Have you ever heard them? They kind of go hand in hand.
Very nice, very nice. All right, Whoopa. Hello, Whoopa.
Hold on a second. I got to release him from the Pokeball. All right, come on. Get out of there, dude. There you go. See?
Whoa.
Yeah.
You said you had to release him from the ball.
We're talking.
Seriously,
We're talking.
Crazy,
man. We're talking to you, man.
Hey, I'm calmer than you.
You had to use the F and John, man. Give me a break.
No, he was going to get a carton of milk for 69 cents.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, there we are.
Oh,
Do it,
there he
Dan.
is.
Make
That's
them
good.
Black Russian.
He,
So Whoopa, your thoughts on the movie?
So I had only seen. Let me know if my internet goes out.
what?
Yeah, we'll let you know.
But I've never watched a Coen Brothers movie before. I've watched a bit of this one, and I watched a bit of Oh Brother Where Art Thou, but I've never actually watched one all the way through. And this was pretty good. I can say from the part that I have watched before, I did not expect the ending to go like that. That was definitely a new. I didn't expect it. It was pretty cool to get like a genuine surprise because so many movies, even good movies, there's a lot of good movies where I'm automatically like, oh well, this is gonna happen at the end. It's nice for a movie to actually keep me guessing.
And real quick, in response to Phil McCracken's comment,
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
go ahead, Whoopa.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There was just a lot of just how many times are you sitting there putting your head in your hand and thinking, John Goodman, oh my gosh, please stop, don't do it. And he just keeps doing something there. You're like, stop it. What are you doing?
With friends
just-
like him, you didn't need enemies. That's for sure.
Oh, that's yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun, and sometimes it makes genuine emotion when I'm sitting there. Like you see what he's about to do, you're like, oh no, stop, please stop.
Don't go there, please.
Oh gosh, Paul. Really,
Oh, no.
man? Come on, man.
For once, this wasn't for you. This was for Phil.
Oh, that's
You're
for Phil.
scared straight.
It's not
Would you-
cool, man.
I mean, would you rather me use the
All
unedited
Joker.
version?
Change it back. I swear, if you don't change it back,
One thing, you playing that clip, another good thing about this film was the music. They had a great music selection in there.
Yep.
They had a wonderful music selection.
Credence is a great
Have-
band.
Just no Eagles, man.
The Credence.
I often hate the Eagles.
Get out of the cab. Any other thoughts, Whoopa?
not off the bat. I'm sure I'll have plenty more, but it was just a lot of fun. There's
All
a
right.
lot of just just a lot of messing with people. A lot of it took you at places that you didn't expect, and when you saw where it was going, a lot of times it's almost like a disaster. It's a car wreck, and you're looking because you don't want to look away,
Mhm.
which is good. I mean, I don't say that as a negative. Obviously, it grabs your attention.
All right, Paul. What are your
Yes.
thoughts and opinions on the Big Lebowski?
That movie was hard for me to follow. Like, I was honestly, I'm mostly just confused. I enjoyed it, but I have never been so confused about a movie ever since I can remember.
Welcome to the Coen brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least he's Barton
Like
Fink.
it seriously has me wondering, and please do not take this the wrong way because I liked it too, but I'm having a hard time seeing what is it about this movie that people like. Is this, maybe it's just not a movie for me, but like I said, I liked it. It's a well-made movie and I was certainly entertained by it, but I just don't get it. It's basically my thoughts.
You had the best quote that night. I find this more strange than funny.
No, it was not. It was not more strange than funny. I found it more shocking,
Oh, shocking. Okay.
and that is very true. And most of that is John Goodman's fault.
Well, Paul, don't ever watch. Reservoir Dog. Is it Reservoir Dog? The Tarantino flick.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You
So, yeah.
Every
You know what,
Tarantino
Smoking
movie,
Patriot?
probably.
I'm really gonna watch Reservoir Dog now.
Yeah, do it.
If
I'm
you thought
kidding.
you were confused in this, Reservoir Dogs is even more so.
How
I
many?
know. I believe you.
How many Altman films have you seen, Paul? Roger Altman. No, have you
who
seen
are
the
they?
original MASH? No, Roger Altman. Have you seen the
Never
original
heard of him.
MASH? Or okay, because I'm going to say it's the same type of filmmaking there, where you have that disjointed, confusing. The original MASH movie, the Popeye, he did Popeye with Robin Williams. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the modern day Altman.
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I don't want that misunderstood. I'm just having a really hard time wrapping my head around it.
And that's understandable. For some people, it takes multiple viewings before they understand the whole premise of the film.
Oh, another viewing party with Paul? Good.
Yeah, I'd be up for it. I'd like to talk about this movie on my channel. We won't be able to quote it though.
Why
That's
not?
He's just hoping to get a free rug, man.
Yeah.
Get a free rug,
I
man.
mean, it really ties the room together, man.
See,
really
you can
does.
quote the movie. You can quote it
Yep,
there.
yep.
You're right. You're right.
So see that's a plus. You're quoting the movie, so it had a good impact.
Yes, it did. And I gotta say, my favorite character was probably Steve Buscemi's character because I know
He
I
was
don't
Paul.
know. Yeah,
Who's Steve Buscemi?
that's me pretty much. The one that that tries to butt in on the conversation, tries to be part of it, and half the time gets told "shut up."
Paul, you're out of your
You're
element.
you're like a child who wanders into the room during a movie.
What's going on?
Pretty much.
Will he survive this stream?
That's up to him. That's up to him.
Yeah.
All right. So, any further thoughts on this, Paul? Man.
Not for now.
All right. All right. Anonymous.
What Nerdporial just said in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't care about it. Nihilists.
We don't care about nothing.
Okay, Mike,
It's like
Mike,
nihilists.
you, me, and Cash, we're gonna go burn his car.
Wait a minute, man. I'm dressed as the dude, man.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
cutting Pop's toe off to mail it.
Make sure you get
Wait,
make
whose
sure
car?
you
I always
bring
wanted a
out
limp.
your
I always
water
wanted a limp.
You're gonna get it.
Wait, whose car are we burning down?
Nerporial.
For Johnson.
Make sure it's the right car, man.
I was like, how's it get? Make sure you're burning the right car, though. We don't want somebody to get effed. So I can't even say it without laughing.
Brian, have you ever? This is what you get for effing a stranger in the A.
Wait a minute.
Get that, Brian?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens?
I can't get enough of that scene. It's great. I laugh so
I'm not saying
hard.
it. That's probably the best scene in the whole movie. And the kid
We had
just
him shook,
watching
don't you
from
think?
the window with that.
It's
dead
like
stare
I
on
love,
his
I
face.
love how he didn't say a word through the whole thing.
No, not a word.
What was it, Little Larry? Was that it? Little
Yeah,
Larry.
Little
Larry.
Okay.
I guess what we've got some interlopers.
Hey, checklist.
We got
Take care of that.
nihilist. We got nihilist.
What?
Yes.
You know why? Because we were talking about
We're
effing in the A,
triggered them.
and then they came. Notice that that's what they, hey, they're talking about effing in the A.
You
Time to
invited
go
them.
there.
Yeah.
All right, Anonymous. Your thoughts on the Big Lebowski?
Oh man, where do I begin? Classic Coen. This is just it's a movie about nothing, right? Just life. Life happens in these odd, weird ways. and you don't know where it's going to take you. And I love how like they bring in other elements during the show or during farther in the movie, just to bring in a little bit of information, like the detective that was following him around for a while. He was worthless in the whole movie, but he offered up just like a little bit of information to help him out.
Yep.
That's brilliant freaking writing, and it made for a funny scene, and the character development, and they start right off the bat. The long freaking shots with them just back and forth banter constantly nonstop is brilliant. It takes a lot of talent to do that. And I would have to say that some of that was ad-libbed. I don't think he could write all that, but he's like,
oh no.
Set them together. This is what I want out of you. Go, And John Goodman, yeah, that dude's a great actor, but man, he's a scary actor.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can just.
Can you bring up the nerdtorial message before this one? I just want to say, hopefully there is no rug in the area.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't standing on the rug.
At least
Maybe,
for house
maybe I'm
trade.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure they didn't do a lot of ad-libbing, though, right? The Coens don't do a lot of ad-libbing. There's a few lines here and there, but I thought most of the stuff is actually scripted, which makes it even
most
more
of
insane
it
to
sure
think about.
is. But how do you script like the scene, like we're at the bowling alley and they're all three just back and forth? I'm sure it's drawn out and kind of roughed out and stuff, but some of that had to be, just them being them, doing what
Jeff
they do,
Bridges said that there's only one like man or dude that wasn't scripted.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's only one man or dude that's not scripted. I forget which one it is. We have to look it up. But I sent Mike this little, I tagged him in the little video of the man dude edit where it's like the 140 references to man and dude. They're all just blended together in this video. It's freaking great.
Man, dude, man.
I got tired of hearing the words. They lost all meaning to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, my first thought was only 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts, Anonymous?
Yeah, I like a good story, and Coen Brothers usually makes very good stories. They're not like big blockbuster shootouts and fight scenes. It's a very good change of pace as far as cinema goes. And to be honest with you, with all of the big budget movies being flops and crap, most of them, I can see our cinema getting back to something like this. As long as like independent movies that aren't Hollywood funded and controlled, if you could get people to write stuff like this and produce it, people go back to the cinema for something like this. I would. I would.
Yeah, I don't want to get into my whole spiel about Russia and stuff, but they had a big cinema crash after the Soviet collapse, obviously, and the movie that kind of put the Russian film industry back on the map had a budget of about $5,000 US. And that was in like 1996. So it's not like it's a crazy exchange rate. Inflation's pretty bad, not that bad.
Well, look at the Blair Witch Project. I mean, that thing was filmed dirt cheap, and look how much they had a return on income on that.
Yep.
I mean, we can have little films like this. They need to. The big risk now is to do films like this, and some, not necessarily exactly like the Coen Brothers, but I mean, smaller films that aren't costing $200 million to make, and
yeah, they can make with this for like. Well, nowadays maybe 20 or 30, and if it's word of mouth would get out and get good reviews, people will go watch this, and they can make well, I don't like to say quadruple, whatever. They can make a buttload of money for something like this. I mean, what was the Big Lebowski's budget?
$15 million.
Yeah, that was
$15 million. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
And how much did it make?
It made $46 million at the box office domestically.
Yeah.
So 30.
So
15
It's
million
61 overall. Made 4 times
So-
his budget.
Yeah, 4 times his budget. That's easy money. That's easy
Mhm.
money.
yeah,
Not every,
I haven't watched this movie, but I saw a bunch about it on Twitter. That Terrifier 2, some horror flick, that had a budget of $250,000 and made $11 million.
Mhm.
That's not anything
That's
that's breaking
real
the charts,
good.
but that's one heck of a big profit margin.
Well, nothing needs to be
Yeah.
a big blockbuster. Just as long as it's a good film, you get a return on your investment. That's the big thing.
yep. Well,
That's
it's
what
like
we need to go back to.
Well, it's like
Mhm.
it's like I've said, when I've talked about like Power Rangers with may he rest in peace, Jason David Frank, that Power
Mhm.
Rangers fan flick that they're doing, the actual full length feature film that they're doing for on a budget of, I think it's maybe $1 million tops, all fan raised. And if you ever seen the Superpower Beatdowns where they do the special effects and the choreography and everything, if they can pull off this movie and it looks equivalent to what Hollywood can do for even a budget of $1 million,
Mhm.
if this movie does good in terms of reaction with the fans, I guarantee you people are going to start crying for more fan-led films where somebody puts out an idea and they crowdfund the funds, whether it be $10,000 or $10,000 or $100 or $10 million, however much. I think that's actually the future, because let's just be real. Hollywood's not going to change.
No.
Disney can have all the flops they want. They can say go woke, go broke, all that stuff. But Disney's Disney, and the fans are what is going to bring it back. And there's good writers out there, I guarantee you, that were shut out because they didn't have certain ideologies, or their ideas weren't what Hollywood would consider big budget grossing. But again, if $1 million budget can bring in $15 million of revenue, even if you tack on an extra $500K for advertising, 1.5 million, you make 10 times what you've put into it on $1.5 million, including advertising.
And real quick, I do want to get Cash's thoughts on the film, and
Why?
because I want to hear his
Dude, what the
opinion,
heck,
man.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Yeah, dude, jeez.
Jeez, dude.
We
cast
had
the vibe.
guys like him in Vietnam, and I tell you, you know where they ended up?
But what does Vietnam have to do with anything, man?
Yeah,
Lay face down in the
Vietnam,
muck
man?
to hear Cash Money talk about movies.
And then I'll get to you, Pops, as a veteran of this film, and get your thoughts on it.
Thank you for your service watching this film, being a veteran watching this film.
The floor is yours, Cash.
Okay.
We made him speechless,
I mean,
folks.
yeah, right. No, this is just another, crazy Coen brother. That's a fun story. I could follow it just fine. And you feel bad for the dude, man. Why is the guy, as the bad guys or whatever you want to call them, the thugs, pissing on the dude's rug, man? That's not cool, man. That's just not cool, man.
No.
And
It's harsh.
but yeah, it's very harsh. You don't pee on a man's rug. Come on. I don't care how upset you think you are and you get the wrong person. But this story was just crazy, and you're just like, a lot of these people are a bunch of douches. But it's just funny. And John Goodman, especially when he's sitting at the counter, I'm gonna finish my coffee. I'm gonna finish it. Yeah,
Everybody's looking at him. See, everybody's scared of you.
he brings a gun to the bowling. They always want to be in a tournament. And then you got John Tuturro, and he's just like, "Hey guys, oh yeah." And he's just like, "I'm coming here to f you, man, f you." Like it's so funny.
He's a sexual predator. He's
yes.
a sexual predator. He had to go around door to door when he
Walter
moved in.
wanted to mention that.
Oh, just imagine having to do that. Hey, man, I'm a sexual predator.
Yeah, and they showed a little scene of that.
And then the real Lebowski, it's like, man, this guy, like, he doesn't even have, he wants to get rid of this woman. He doesn't even want her around. He's sick of her. It's just so crazy. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. But I found this movie very enjoyable. It was crazy. You know, I've watched Fargo. I've watched True Grit, the remake. I mean, I like the style of the Coen brothers. I have not watched Brother Where Art Thou? Excuse me.
Oh man, you gotta watch it.
I gotta watch.
That's a good movie.
All I know about that movie is the song.
Yeah. Oh right. Oh, that's right. They also did No Country for Old Men, which I have watched, and that was quite enjoyable too. Yeah, call it Friendo, as my brother just said. But anyways,
Paul, you need to watch The Lady Killers.
Lady
that?
Killers. Oh.
It's one of the Coen brothers movies.
Is it going to be as confusing as this one?
I don't know, but we watched it with like the VidAngel thing a long time ago, or whatever that was that they had, and we can only watch like 5 minutes of the movie because the rest of it was bleeped out.
Well, I mean, if you guys want to, like, we can set up another Coen Brothers movie and then talk about it. People,
Why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know, and then of course the dude, like, he's getting a swirly in his own toilet, and it's just, and you know, it's messed
Where's the
up,
money?
Man. Where's
I
the
don't
money,
know.
man?
I think I left it down there.
I think it's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Do you see a wedding ring, man?
Do you see a wedding ring?
This guy's a loser. Well, at least I'm housebroken.
And I also agree with Sam Elliott's character. I can't remember his name.
The stranger.
The stranger. He had no name.
Yeah, that's right. The stranger.
We wanted. Oh, sorry. Go on.
we wanted to. I want them to win the tournament too, man. I really do. You know what? And the dude always deserves to have a nice rug because, just, you know, it's all about that rug. And then he's like, I was told I could take a rug. I think that's good. Yeah.
You know, if the guy didn't pee on his rug, this whole movie wouldn't even have happened.
Yeah,
exactly. No, that's true.
It's a victim of circumstance movie, and one little bitty thing leads to the other, and that's what makes it so brilliant. It's just this happens because that happened, and it's a very weird thing. It's brilliant.
Right, and you know, Jeff Bridges' character, the dude, he is just pretty much floating through life. Somehow he has some money somewhere. Maybe he's made some money even at these tournaments.
Yeah.
But he's got something. So yeah, what was the Big Lebowski. It was funny, and then of course you had Phillip Seymour Hoffman. He had a good role in this.
As Brent.
He had to pay $100 to watch, though.
I just like the when in the opening, not crawl, but when you have the opening monologue, and he's like, "Well, you see, you know, the dude. The thing about the dude is like, well, I had something to say. I don't know." Just tails off.
But the one thing he returns back to is, and sometimes there's a man.
As he's sniffing the half and half.
Yeah. For us Caucasians and.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is a very enjoyable film, and I like the vision of the Coen brothers. It's off the wall, but there's a story, and you know, those Germans got what was coming to them.
One of them got a bowling ball to the chest. The other got their ear bitten off.
I didn't think it was to the chest. Maybe I was wrong.
No, it was his chest. Yeah,
it was chest.
Yeah.
It's like probably punctured a lung.
Yeah, and then one of them had to die too. And then the ashes scene is still funny.
Oh, that is tragic in a hilarious way.
Walter!
I just love how Jeff Bridges just doesn't break character at all.
No, he does not.
He's just taking it in the face.
Yeah.
Well, really, you take a look at the second Tron movie.
Yes.
He was kind of that way in that film too. He was like
Mhm.
he's the dude on the CPU.
Yeah, the dude on the CPU. I like that. Yeah. That's great.
You really
any
was
other
messing
thoughts,
with my
Kaz?
Zen thing, man.
No, those are all my thoughts.
All right, Pops. As a veteran of the Big Lebowski,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I mean, I remember this from the theater. I saw Raising Arizona in the theater, which was the year before, years before. And after that, I was kind of hooked on the Coen brothers' techniques and their styles, and they are so interesting to learn about as filmmakers. And I know Tarantino's name came up. There are others, and the weirdest thing and also the greatest thing about Lebowski is that so much of the film is rooted on real people that they base these characters on. So almost every character is rooted into things they literally would write and take all of these notes and character profiles and create all of this different stuff that they wanted to integrate into their film. You know, even to the point of, you know, finding the elementary school work in the car was actually based on something that happened in real life. They knew the person that was like the dude. They knew the person that was like the artist. They knew all these different things. And their style is they write like 40 pages and then they set it aside and they come back to it later. So it has time to ferment and develop and grow. And look at the cast. I mean, you're talking about what? Tara Reid, who went on in 90210. You guys mentioned Phillip Seymour Hoffman. Obviously Lupin, right? David Lewis is in this. Mark Pellegrino. I mean, just it's so incredible what they're able to accomplish with the writing. I know it's sort of like, you know, the film about nothing in some ways, but I think we relate so much to just the journey of life's experiences. And the film is just riddled with those moments where, like you said, the opening sequence when the dude's, you know, his rug's getting peed on, and you're like, dude, what are you doing peeing in this guy's house? You literally are having like an emotional response to these kinds of things. And when you're seeing, you know, what Flea and Peter Stormare and what's the other guys, the nihilist standing there, it's like you're like, is that Flea? Like, is it you're having these visceral reactions when you revisit a film like this? So I'm a diehard Coen. I'm sorry.
Real quick, Pops. I just sorry to cut you off, but it didn't register me at first that Professor Lupin was in this, so I just looked it up, and holy cow, I did not recognize him in this movie.
Oh yeah. This is. So here's the thing, especially if you're new to this, Paul, with the Coen brothers, and I'm not going to vouch for it like every single film, but almost every single one of their films. You end up down kind of a rabbit's hole of like who the casts are, the writing, the stories behind it. They're really these old school character development, scripts first. And, you know, they also like to adventure and try different things. So, you know, you do have like, you know, what's the more recent one to see, Hail Caesar, which was more like, you know, you get some things that are just Lady Killers. I thought was kind of, it's kind of, you know, so there's some that are better than others, but when you see No Country for Old Men, and True Grit, I mean, we can have we could do a whole thing on, is True Grit better than the original or not? It literally is one of the few times you can redo it, and you're like, it is as good, if not better than the original.
Really good, man. That snake scene in True Grit is even better than the original, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, I could keep going. I'll let you guys, you know, figure out how you want to navigate it.
Well, just like you were saying there, Pops, these guys, the Coen brothers, can bring in these big stars for these small films. I mean, Raising Arizona, like you're saying, had Nick Cage in it. And
that was before he was a movie whore.
Yeah, exactly. We know who he was, but exactly. And you had several people, William H. Macy and such, with Fargo. They're able to bring these people in. George Clooney and with the
Burn After
the
Burn After Reading.
Well, and also the other one too. He did the one with the
Carrying a Goat.
Intolerable.
Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, he's also in Intolerable Cruelty. So there's a lot of that. They like to work with the same people over again, but you also have to remember there's a ton of people that turned down this movie. This movie was offered to Duvall, Hopkins, Hackman, I mean, these people are like, no, I don't get your script, man.
Mhm.
I don't get it. I don't understand your script. I'm out.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No offense to those guys. No offense to those guys. I'm glad they didn't take it because they got the right cast.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges got it, and he made it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He made the movie just about. And well, all the actors were really great in it, but Jeff Bridges is the dude. Can you imagine somebody else playing that role now?
He literally is, because he brought in some of his own clothes for his wardrobe.
That's true.
To make this movie.
He still has those shoes, the jelly shoes. Yeah, and I guess he would go to them every scene. Or I read this this weekend when I watched it the first time. A rewatch was he would go to them and he would rub his. He would ask if he smoked a doobie before this happened, and if so, he'd rub his eyes and stuff to make sure he had a little bit of a bloodshot in his eyes for every scene that he. I was like, God, so these people are all in, and I don't know about you guys, but we've all danced around it. I don't think any of us feel like modern Hollywood cares enough to be this all in, and that's kind of
they don't.
No, they don't.
And I know this is a side, but I love that he brought in Ben Gazzara from the Roadhouse to be the exact same guy that was in Roadhouse.
Yep.
Ben
Gazzara was good in this.
Yeah.
What are you fucking?
Whoa!
So no, I mean, look. So I saw it in the theaters. I remember being a big deal. I'm kind of like the geeky film nerd back then. Like it's kind of like nerds have gotten cooler now. We were kind of made fun of when we were talking about. What do you mean you haven't seen Fargo? What do you mean you haven't seen back then? Now it's kind of like people. It's like a badge of honor to know that you've gotten through Fargo like 6 times. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you know?
And so I was honored that Mike would even include me in a conversation like this, because it definitely took me back. That's for sure. Definitely took me back. It's great.
Well, I got to thinking, Pops, that The Big Lebowski is one of those movies that everybody can watch, and they have their own reason for watching it. Some people watch it strictly for Jeff Bridges. Other people watch it because the story is so ludicrous. And other people watch it because they're fans of the Coen brothers' work. So they want to see what they come up with next. I know for me personally, this is one of my favorite movies. The first time I actually watched it all the way through, I love this movie.
Yeah, and we do have to remember, so this is an era in Hollywood where they would bounce around, different studios would pick up their scripts. Their scripts are very strange and off the wall to most people, right? So not everybody gets it. They also had some things that didn't work. I mean, it's easy for us to talk about all the things that did work, but reality is, they did, what's it called? Hudsucker Proxy, is that right?
Yep.
The Tim Robbins one? That did not do well. Not a good film, right? So
and Paul Newman too, if I remember.
Right. So it's got its little nuances of being like an okay film in some ways. Miller's Crossing was not well received. It was bad. It was timed badly when it came out. I liked it. I thought it was a really cool take on, Prohibition and the Irish Mafia back in the day, but it's another film. And even Barton Fink is a divisive film. A lot of people don't like Barton Fink. So unique filmmaker, that's for sure. Unique style. But yeah, you're right about the cast. You're right about all the elements. And really kind of a truly underrated gem in the comedy genre in a lot of ways.
The absurd, surrealistic comedies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys talked about some of your favorite scenes. I mean, I can still literally almost peeing myself to death when they throw the ferret in the bathtub.
Yeah,
the very first time in the theater, he's calling it a marmot and not a ferret. And they throw it in the bathtub, and he's literally screaming like a little girl. And then when he screams again later, when he drops the blunt in his joint, in his crotch, and he's scratching around, he crashes his car. I know.
That car took a beating, man. That poor car.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when he gets the car back from the impound lot and he finds the homework from Larry Sellers.
And, I miss the DVD commentaries of this kind of stuff, because back in the day, I'd watch that stuff so much, and I wish I had time to re-listen to it. But there's all these old backstories of where they would get these ideas. They throw them all together. And I think that's what I think that's the biggest parallel to this type of filmmaking with Tarantino. Tarantino will write, a 4-hour film knowing he's only going to make a 2-hour film because he writes all this backstory and all these different stories and characters and people that he runs into and ideas, and just they write all the time. They carry around notebooks and they write it all the time. And these guys were like that. Now, I don't know as much about the backstory of some of the more modern stuff that they've done. Like, I don't know if you guys are, as big of a fan of some of their newer stuff. I didn't really care for Hail Caesar. I got through it one time. I was kind of like, I'm kind of, yeah. But this one in particular, its legacy is really, really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I mean, I know what you mean about the listening to the commentaries. It's like, I love listening to commentaries, from the directors, actors, writers, when you have those DVDs. My family hates me for that, but I love listening to all that. Getting more insight what the film is about.
So I have a question. Did this guy actually roofie the dude in this scene? Is that what caused him to go,
Yes.
Yep.
roofie like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was roofied.
He was drugged.
And that trip of his, I tell you.
Yeah.
And I will admit that's probably the one sequence of the film that a lot of people don't care for. You know what I mean? Like it's like this weird surreal drug trip right in the middle of this film, and like you're like, what is happening right now? But again, you're on this journey with the dude, man. You're on the journey with the dude.
Right. I think it fits just perfectly in there. It's like, this is a dude backed out. Face. Yeah, right there. I mean,
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, that face reminds me of Daryl the Derelict.
I was saying it kind of looks a little bit like you, Paul.
Please, I don't have that sort of facial hair nor that long of a hair.
Yeah.
For that mic, I screenshotted it. I need to put that into a thumbnail at some point.
But by the way, any of you guys have anything against the Eagles?
I do not.
No.
I often hate the Eagles.
Nope.
Man.
I've actually stood. I have for real stood on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. And funny enough, they have an Eagles themed gift shop there now.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, one of the funny things about this movie too is the fact that it spawned its own convention.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a Big Lebowski convention.
Yeah, one that had Jeff Bridges and Julianne Moore was that one. I know. He's unfortunately passed, though.
Yeah.
You've seen
him.
I
think there's something to be said. There's something to be said when you've
character.
created a character that can transcend the film and into the genre. So you have references, even like one of the Avengers films, when Tony is referring to Thor as a Lebowski, and you get these different things. So it transcends into and beyond its legacy. That's something special.
Yeah, it is.
And let's talk about John Turturro's performance as Jesus.
Absolutely insane, off the chain.
Yes.
You got to go to the purple outfit though, because the purple outfit when we first saw it made us laugh out loud. So I mean, I know he's crazy, but just seeing him in like these purple pants with like, so by the way, I'm this nerdy.
Purple
I had to
everything.
find out. Yes, they use birdseed in like a little baggie to create the bulge in his pants. It's so insane that they would think of doing these things.
What? He wasn't man enough to create his own bulge?
No, they got to make it bigger, man. You got to. It doesn't matter how manly you are, man. I know Hollywood people; they will always go bigger. Always.
Yeah.
Well, now that I know it was artificially enhanced, I can make the joke of the fact that his pants are so tight you could tell what religion he is.
Yeah, unless you're Jonah Falcon, it's never big enough. Just so you know.
I love when they're
Jonah Falcon on your own time.
I love when they're cleaning their balls too after
That is the best. When he came out in his jumpsuit and his coach or his little assistant is dressed like him, and each of the shots, it's just
Man, they color coordinated.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is they did make a sort of sequel to The Big Lebowski with Jesus Quintana, and John Turturro came back, and it's It's not good. It's not good at all.
How bad is it on a scale of 1 to Caddyshack 2?
It's about right there with Caddyshack 2, in my opinion.
Oh no.
Well, what to say? You can't go home again.
Paul needs to watch that with us.
I think I'm good.
I've never seen Caddyshack 2, and I have no desire to.
You're not
Good
missing
answer.
a thing.
You're not missing anything.
Good answer. Good answer.
It's like people are saying, "Oh, you got to watch the airplane sequel or this." I'm like, no,
Not
no,
really.
no.
Yeah.
No, you really don't.
I mean, the airplane sequel's head and shoulders above Caddyshack too, but still. It's not
Yeah, I was
that
going to say we
good,
can't
so.
compare Airplane 2 to these other things that we're talking about. Airplane 2 is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Eh. Still, I don't want to ruin the original.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're fair. You're right on that. And I saw an interview with Goodman a couple years ago, and he referenced how much this is probably his favorite film, his favorite time. So it makes sense when you're having that much fun on set. It just it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just a few years ago, John Goodman got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Jeff Bridges was there, and he started quoting the movie, but his speech was more in a line with John's special day, and
Mm-hmm.
John Goodman who loves acting.
So
yes.
when we do a talk hard on a movie, this is the kind of scene that I love to dive into because you get so much set design and interesting character development. He's doing his nails in clear polish, drinking a beer, and notice how he has his hair pulled back differently than he does in other scenes. Like all these little nuances make it someone you know in college, or at least I knew in college. Like I literally know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the open pack of smokes on the table in front of him.
Well, that was bowling alley regular. So you might be a little.
Oh, yeah.
You're awfully young for that, Paul. This is exactly what bowling alleys were like for us. Just so you know, this was not even like a little bit fictitious or exaggerated. Smoking beer, yeah.
All
This
right.
is your bowling league night.
Crap, they didn't even have electronic score machine or terminals.
Yep.
No.
You
Back
wrote
in the day,
everything
you wrote
down.
it down on a little card and
Yeah.
a little pencil.
Mhm.
Now mark it a 0.
Correct.
Mark it a 0.
Over the line.
It's just a little bit over. It's just a toe. It doesn't matter.
It just
man.
slipped.
If he's
Am I
over the
the only-
line, mark that 0.
Am I the only one who lives in a world of rules and sanity?
Am I the only one that gives a shit about the rules?
All while cocking back his M1911.
Who was that? That was a good John Goodman. Who said that? That was good. Who just
That
did
was me. That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Ah.
That's good. That was a good John Goodman. Good job.
Well, they finally done it. They killed my F-word car.
Yeah.
Yep. Because this is the scene. This is where they come out. They see the dude's car burning, and then they have the final fight with the nihilist. And I mean, maybe other people. Yes, unfortunately, Donnie. Yeah, we got a
Paul.
man down, dude.
So I have to say the one
In
thing.
my opinion, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say we skipped over it a little bit, but as someone like screenwriting class, and you try to learn how to write, and you try to do that kind of stuff, and you read scripts or whatever. The one thing they teach you is make sure they get you. You've got to get somebody in those first couple pages they won't read on. Like you have the script readers, the screening process, right?
Mhm.
When you listen to the dialogue of the stranger, and he's doing his narration in the beginning, and I remember I kind of rewound it and listened to it again this morning when I watched it again today, and it was like, that's what makes this movie. It never stopped from being amazing when it tries to get you in. And I agree with Paul. Like it's a movie about nothing in a lot of ways, but it's like I want to know what happens next, and that's kind of what matters the most. Like, oh wait a minute, this guy's peeing on a rug. Why is he peeing on a rug? Did he just put his sunglasses on his head? He didn't even rinse those off yet. It's like it never stops creating something that interests you to keep going.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter because his head was in there too, so he didn't have to rinse them off. But yeah, it's you want to see what happens. Who's going to make what decision to carry this further down the road? and what ridiculous thing is going to pop up. So yeah, it's a train wreck. You can't stop watching.
No.
And can we just talk about how cool it is that, you know, the dude and Mr. Lebowski are pretty much two polar opposite people, not just the lifestyle they live, but like how they carry themselves and how they talk. Because, you know, the rich guy Lebowski, despite being in a wheelchair, he still carries himself with that regal arrogance and uses all the big words that he can. And of course, he talks like this with all the self-importance in the world, and you need to find my daughter, or else everything that happens to her will come down tenfold on you. Meanwhile, you have Lebowski that's, you know, just kind of floating through life, as we said. And
mind if I spoke, Jay?
He just speaks in as simple a way as he can. You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Strong men also cry. Strong men also cry.
I just like in that first meeting with Big Lebowski, and like halfway through the bums rant, the dude just puts on his sunglasses and is done, leaves the room, and just instantly like, yeah, he said I could take any rug in the house.
He just believed him, didn't even bother to check.
Yep.
Nope.
No. And the thing about, like, if you look at like John Goodman and Steve Buscemi, like in terms of how their friendship is with the dude, we all know somebody who's kind of been like a John Goodman in a way, who's always wanting to be
like that.
You know, who's always wanting to be, you know, leading the charge, and he's to take action now and whatnot. Is maybe even a little conspiratorial. And he always had that one friend who's kind of silent in the background, always kind of coming in midway in a conversation and just kind of sits there like, okay, but what about this? And you're like, wait, that was like 10 minutes ago. What are you talking about? Like, we all have friends that we can relate that are either a Steve Buscemi, John Goodman, or both. Mm-hmm. We all know somebody in our life we have as a friend like that. And I just, again, that dynamic of that, where it's just, again, they're just regular people sitting down having conversation. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the very vocal idiot of the group, we usually just blow off and not take any of their advice. But John Goodman is so forceful.
Do you speak from experience?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll plead the fifth on that. But yeah, John Goodman is such a forceful, dominant personality and the dude is such a, you know,
he's easy going.
He's easy going. He lets him walk all over him. He may yell back a little bit after the fact, but you know, this John Goodman. Or Walter is personally.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Tommy.
What? Waving the freaking gun around? I'm perfectly calm, dude.
No, you're psycho. You're a psychopath.
I love they're talking in the car as you see the cops showing up behind.
I love that. He's like,
even though
we play Quintana and O'Brien next week, they should be pushovers.
Yeah, I think even though, to me, Steve Buscemi is the most relatable character to me, definitely John Goodman character I think is the best character in all of this. Just because, again, as you were saying, Anonymous, he is that intense and forceful of a personality that, yeah, he's wrong 9 times out of 10, just like whoever's sending those bots in the chat are wrong. But, you know, he's so forceful about it that you just can't help but go along with it.
Yep. And when you're, when, you know, the dude is the rug of the movie. So, so John Goodman he dominates him. And he knows whatever he comes up with, whatever plan he's concocting, whatever idea, whatever he's going to do next, he knows it's just going to lead to disaster. But yeah, he still lets him do it anyway. Complain the whole time, but by all means, be you. Be you.
Well, I think too, and I don't know if either I'm wrong on this, or if this was really obvious. I'm not making some big revelation, but I think at the end of the movie with the ashes scene, because dude's a pacifist. Everything that's happening is kind of happening to him, and I think in the end, after get his face, that's when he pushes John Goodman. I think that's like the first time he does something outwardly to someone else about it. I remember that part. That we were kind of scrolling through.
Yeah, and one of the things that I can say it makes this movie enduring is the fact that it's about this relationship between the dude, Walter, and Donnie. Yeah, Donnie's pretty much ignored by Walter, but they still care about each other. I mean, you see it, especially in that scene where they're spreading Donnie's ashes and the ashes come blowing back because of the wind. When Walter's giving the eulogy and saying, Donnie who loved bowling, and Donnie was a surfer, and in your good wisdom, Lord, you took him. It starts making it all about Vietnam.
Yeah.
Everything leads back to Vietnam.
We also have, I'm also grateful we did this on a Wednesday and not a Saturday. I'm just saying, y'all, because, Saturday's a holy day. So,
Super Shabbos.
This wasn't an emergency, but I'm just saying,
You're not
Super
even
freaking
Jewish,
Shabbos.
Walter.
You're Polish Catholic.
I converted when I married.
Wait,
know
so when
that.
I get divorced, I'm supposed to turn in my license, get a new library card?
Why not?
I mean, any other thoughts you guys have on this movie?
I think this is just this harkens back to a good old fun time of Hollywood, and I'm not even going. Up until modern Hollywood, and I'm going to say that's been the past decade, a little over a decade. If you go past like 2008, 2009. From there going back, Hollywood was just fun. You'd go watch Tropic Thunder. You'd go watch, the cheesy superhero movies with Tim Allen in them. You'd go watch Rush Hour, Big Lebowski. There was all this variation of film styles and ideas. And it's just become so mono nowadays. It's either all superhero or all horror or all this or all that. It's like there's no variation. And if there is, it's variation of what's already out in some way, shape, or form. There's nothing new and fresh. And this is just a part of time in Hollywood where it was always constantly something new, something fresh, something different. It might have bombed, it might have succeeded. But they took risks. They challenged the ideas with. If you watch some of these movies, Tarantino in his earlier days certainly did that. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, also. It was a great time to watch movies. Let's just be real. If you guys go to pick a movie right now, I guarantee you're picking something probably from 1980 up until the mid 2000s. Probably right now, you're not really thinking. Aside from some obvious ones, Top Gun Maverick being one of them, those occasional few sprinkles that are from about 2010 up till now. There's only a few you'd regularly, constantly have to go back and rewatch. All the good stuff is in the past.
Yeah, the first
and this was just a
Pokemon movie was 1998, so that's really where it peaked.
I have not seen that, nor have I seen all of Tropic Thunder.
Well, like you were saying there about going back to the 80s and such. What about Terry Gilliam when he came out with stuff like Time Bandits, Brazil? Okay. I thought he was going to say something, but when you had Terry Gilliam, he was bringing those films out at that time. Which, let's face it, those are strange, bizarre, wild rides that you got from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And again, they took a chance. I mean, for crying out, it was George Harrison that funded basically for Time Bandits, and without that, I mean, where would we have gotten with Terry Gilliam films? Same thing with the Coen brothers. The weird, bizarre, something different, and we need to have this again. Like you said, all the way through the 80s, the 90s, up to, well, this was like 98. Even a little bit into 2000s, but then it starts trickling off. It really does.
Well, I think the one thing Smoking Patriot was saying is so good is the fact that we're really talking about the death of comedy, right? I mean, literally in the last 10 years, comedy's just become, just a dead genre, and we have to go backwards. And this is one of many. We did a whole month over on my channel, a whole month of comedy where we talked about Blazing Saddles and Johnny Dangerously, and these are movies they don't even want us to watch. They want to, you can't even. We're not going to get physical copies of these things much longer. They're going to make sure that they're dead and buried, and we're not going to ever know they exist. So until Hollywood can learn to laugh at itself again, or allow independent filmmakers means and access again, which is kind of, I think, what somebody said earlier about, we've got to get stuff out into theaters, and it's still a challenge. And I think there's still a place for word of mouth and things like that. But it definitely is a genre that right now is not well represented. In cinemas,
it's very very hard now. They put comedy in a box, right? Yep. And we can't go outside the box, or you're some sort of weirdo or Nazi, or Yahtzee. But I was going somewhere with this.
Well,
somebody else talk. I done lost it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it's just like, as I said before, I've said many times before on several channels. It's like North Korea. They're the for film production, they're probably one of the big nutsos for wanting to do movies. Obviously take a look at their leaders, then their love for film. But the one thing you never ever see is comedy, because comedy means that you risk poking fun at the powers that be. And that's what you're looking at here. There's so many things that the powers that be within Hollywood that if you were to make a film, they would be triggered and offended, and they can't handle that. It's harking back to Blake Edwards' SOB, where all that was a full-fledged assault on Hollywood that he made. You couldn't do a film like that today because Hollywood has such a thin skin. And the fact that you might go out there and make a political joke that goes against their ideology, heaven forbid. But the best comedies is when they go after everybody. The satires are, nobody's safe. And those turn out to be some of the best comedies there are.
Yeah. Stuff like Road Trip.
There's no heroes in this movie or everything. Everyone gets made fun of at some point or another. And it's a lot of different status groups.
I mean, Airplane, they made fun of everybody from Carter to Reagan. Nobody was safe in there. Even the follow-up.
Surely they didn't make fun of everyone.
They did make fun of everyone and quit calling me Shirley.
Until President Obama. That's when they discovered that they weren't allowed to make fun of everything.
Well, I mean, the true story, when Saturday Night Live was poking fun at him and they had the whoever was playing him, Obama literally complained to NBC because of the guy's ears. And the guy's going, but the thing is, the guy's saying, these are my natural ears.
Yeah,
these are my ears.
There was an open mic where he was caught on air. Where they asked him something about what are they, I forget how it went, but it ended up saying, like, you can do whatever, just don't make fun of my ears. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
somebody's a little tentative.
Yeah.
But I think I remember my point or where I was going with that. There are no more creatives in Hollywood. They're cookie cutter, assembly line type people. The creative juices aren't flowing. The creative people aren't employed, and they definitely won't take a chance and go outside that box. And this is the state that we're in, and we can't they have to learn some sort of lesson to get out of that, or get out of creativity's way, and let people do what they naturally want to do. There are people out there, I guarantee you, there's tons of people out there who didn't go to Ivy League colleges, who are sitting around movie buffs, comedy enthusiasts, 20-somethings that are the nerds of tomorrow, who could probably write rings around the people who are writing movies today, and but they will never get a shot. They don't get a chance because that's not what they want.
I think that's a better analysis than they don't exist at all. They're being silenced, they're being ignored. Like, so if you have someone who is good, well, let's face it, like Steve Soderbergh's a good example, right? Steve Soderbergh will make a movie on his phone, but they will not promote that. They're not going to pump that up. Like, they hated the fact that any of us wanted to go see Contagion. Like, it was just not a Hollywood system film. It didn't fit some of the stuff that they wanted to accomplish, even though, hey, he can get big name actors on, like, on a union minimum, which ticks them off, things like that. The Coen brothers probably fit in that same category where they can probably do things, but I can also see them as having, like, F you money, go F yourself money, where they're like, no, I'm not playing by your rules. I just won't do it. And they'll just wait some of this out. So I think that's part of the problem as well, is what you're saying on Anonymous, was that they snuff a lot of that out. Even the people that could do things, I think Favreau fits in that category. I think Favreau at some point just like, screw this system. I'm going to bide my time and navigate what I can get through. He's kind of a company man, but I don't think he's a sellout. I think he's more like, I'm under contract. I got this, I got that. Whereas, the machinery is not going to allow for certain voices and certain projects to float to the top. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing you're saying about with college and all that, at one time, this is where you're getting some of the great comedy minds. Think of National Lampoon off of Harvard Lampoon. That gave us, of course, B.J. O'Rourke with his satire. Of course, The Breakfast Club, National Lampoon Vacation. I got a mental block on it. I always get a mental block on his name. But you got him out of there. And to think of all the comedic people that came out of the National Lampoon Theater, of course, Second City. They were all kind of all together, and that includes John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, all these guys. And it was out of all these guys were let loose. And reason why? They were able to think. They were able to learn something. Now college, all it is indoctrination.
I think your SNL is another good example, right? SNL used to actually allow for people to be offended, and you would dive into crazy stuff. And not every skit worked, but reality was they kept trying to push envelopes.
Right.
But now it's a lot of safe stuff.
Yes, and it's a lot of safe stuff. And sometimes they'll do something where they switch what a black guy, if a white guy was saying it, to what a white guy and a black guy would say. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. But they have like one or two skits, and I would just tell people even now, like, what is the point of watching SNL? Like, they have such a bias, and even though they win Emmys, you just go, come on, guys, that joke is also that joke. If you've never seen it, Eddie Murphy did the white guy joke. Like, he did the full makeup on and did the whole walked around, pretended to be the white guy skits. I mean, literally, what's that? That's in like the earlier 80s. That's like 83. So that joke itself is actually so tired for like my generation and older. We're like, yep, there it is again. You know what I mean? It's not that you can't have a chuckle, but it's not innovative. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and to answer Bush's question there, Bush McFadden, you could say that maybe there was some cross-breeding because, like, John Belushi was part of National Lampoon Radio as well as Brian Doyle Murray. I think Dan Aykroyd might have been involved. Yeah,
Aykroyd was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were with National Lampoon, the National Lampoon Hour, which was a very interesting radio show, and needless to say, brought that stuff over to Saturday Night Live. What, Paul?
Yes, Paul.
You mentioned National Lampoon.
Did he just raise his hand? He did.
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh!
That was the thing.
Is this any relation to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And more importantly, Animal House.
It's a series of
okay
films derived from the old days. I guess, the radio show and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, National Lampoon Vacation was actually taken from a short story in National Lampoon magazine. That was kind of a pseudo remembering of growing up and going out to see Walt Disney. In fact, in the National Lampoon, they were going to see Disneyland. Needless to say, they had to change that for the movie.
Wally World.
Wally World.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the park is closed. The most out back.
I thought that was Griswold Family Vacation.
No, National Lampoon's Family
National
Vacation.
Lampoon's Vacation.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen anything National Lampoon, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, really?
You've never seen
really?
Christmas
You never
Vacation?
know.
It's the season.
No.
You think
Vacation.
you guys think that Paul would like Animal House? I would hope so. But...
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, Paul, did you say you have never seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
I've never seen National Lampoon anything.
'Tis the season, Paul.
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation,
is one
Paul,
of the
I
top
think you can hit.
3 all-time Christmas movies ever. Not even
Christmas Vacation, Paul.
I think
it's way cleaner and safer and fun than even Lebowski is. I think you'll enjoy Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Original Vacation and Animal House are extremely risque. I understand what you're thinking about in your head, but I would say Christmas Vacation you'll be okay with. The other two are
Is Chevy Chase in it?
yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
Chevy
I
Chase
liked
is,
him in. I liked him in Caddyshack, and you know what? I'm going to say this: he was the one good thing about Caddyshack too, even if his character was just stupid.
You like Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Did
Well,
you
he
haven't
was
watched
good.
any
He was good.
National Lam-
Did you
No, I
see,
know. I'm just saying you like Chevy Chase and you haven't watched any National Lampoon stuff.
Yeah.
You should watch
To
the
be fair,
first
I
two,
only
guys.
just. To be fair, I was only just introduced to Chevy Chase through Caddyshack.
Okay.
Oh my!
You
And
definitely should
I
watch
like what
the-
Bush is saying here too. Educate him. Animal House.
He was in 4 National Lampoon Vacation movies: Vacation, European Vacation, Vegas Vacation, and Christmas Vacation.
Vegas and Christmas and I don't
And
know.
with
Vegas
being
wasn't
the
so
holiday
good.
season, we got to do a Christmas Vacation watch party with Paul.
I'm down.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
one
not-
to watch right now. If
I
you're
have
going to
to
start out,
definitely-
just watch that one.
Christmas
should-
Vacation is
Yes.
Christmas Vacation is top notch. I'm telling you
Yes.
what, Paul. And
It
when you see this
is.
movie, I just want you to understand how big this was for us. In the malls, you would go to a mall. When people went to malls, and like the equivalent of like a Spencer's Gift. There were other stores like Spencer's Gifts. And they had these giant glass displays in the front of their stores. They had a full-size mannequin of Chevy Chase hung upside down, completely wrapped in all those Christmas lights. That was the display to promotion for this movie. It was this big. This movie is off the chain fun. Oh my gosh! You're gonna have a great time.
The music, man. I
love
have
the music.
I have all the music on my rotation in my car right now. I'm listening to Christmas music all month long, and Spirit of Christmas, the theme song, everything's just it's in there.
No, Phil, I
Speak-
refuse
speak-
to see Porky's.
Speaking of Christmas Vacation, I don't know if the theaters around you are doing this promotion, Paul. I know my local theater around me is doing this promotion. I know a few others are doing this promotion, but Saturday, December 10th, some theaters are doing a promotion for Toys for Tots where you can actually go see some Christmas themed movies for free, and National Lampoon's Vacation is one of them. Christmas Vacation.
Man, I'd give anything to go to
Well.
the theater and watch that.
Yeah.
You should also see, if you are a fan of Chevy Chase, you should go see Three Amigos. You should.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We are
yeah.
the Three Amigos.
I think you would like Three Amigos.
Okay.
Steve Martin and Martin Short. Yeah.
Yep.
But see,
know
those
what
that we're all talking about here, we're talking about all this creative comedies and it's leading up to the Coen brothers, which unfortunately kind of at the tail end of this because, as they're going in there, Hollywood's changing and they're not being as receptive anymore to this.
True. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, gentlemen, it's why, and I mentioned this during my 3-year anniversary stream, why I wanted to start incorporating Pacific Forum 4 movie review and Pacific Forum 4 episode review into Pop Talk so we can talk about great movies and TV shows. Instead of going through all the rigmarole of the same type of article over and over again, we can talk about these great movies like we are tonight with The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
John Hughes.
Oh,
Now I
I
remember the
agree.
name. John Hughes. Thank you, Boosh. I don't know why I get John Hughes' name.
Oh, the John Hughes
know what
films
we-
are just amazing.
Yeah.
You know what
Mhm.
And
society
actually,
needs right
again,
now?
Paul, I think you're trying to stay away from some of the raunchier stuff, but all of John Hughes films are fine. You'll be fine.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
John Hughes
dude.
films.
Breakfast Club.
They're
See,
edgy, but they're not.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
not. They're not
Right.
raunchy. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
I'd
enough.
say anything the Zucker Bros have made too. The Naked Guns, Hot Shot 1 and 2.
those are pretty funny. Yep.
Top Secret.
Those are.
Top Secret.
I never saw Top Secret, unfortunately.
Oh, you
Oh
gotta see
yeah,
it.
Val
Oh.
Kilmer,
I know I
baby,
need to.
Val
Yeah.
Kilmer.
And then-
Yeah.
Do you know what
Loaded
the last
Weapon.
one they did was? The
Mhm.
last one the Zucker Bros did? American Carol.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
With
I watched
Kelsey
it
Grammer.
one
That was the-
time.
Yeah,
Kelsey
with
Grammer.
James
Kelsey
Woods
Grammer. It had was it Trace? I think it was Trace Adkins.
Oh, Leslie
it was an
Nielsen's
all-star-
last movie.
It might have been actually.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm looking now. I'm
If
curious. That
anybody
may
ha-
be
if
at the
anybody
end.
listening,
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
I
me
don't-
back in the chat, old man.
yeah, I think that was his last movie. But An American Carol, I'm sorry, that was like obviously it's
No,
very
he did a couple more
patriotic,
after
pro
that.
America and everything. So,
Right.
but it was
He
just
had a
it was
couple
that
more after that.
classic Zucker feel in that movie. And I'm like, we need that style back. That's how we reinvigorate comedy again in Hollywood. Get like Zucker Bro style comedy back.
Yeah, and that
People
was
will love it.
The
Kevin,
Zuckers
that
are
was
insane,
Chris
though,
Farley's brother.
man. The Zuckers are nuts. Kentucky Fried
Right.
Movie was their first
Oh.
film, and bro, let me tell you what, that movie.
I love that movie. I love
I've
it.
never even
God, I love
heard
that
of
movie.
that movie.
A Fistful of Yen.
Oh my gosh, it's so
What?
insane. This movie is crazy. Oh, Paul, that movie's
It
not for
is.
you.
No, Paul.
Okay.
It is not
Paul.
for you.
Okay.
You gotta work up to
I'm
that
gonna
one,
have
Paul.
to
That
find
one's-
this. I don't care
that-
how deep
Oh
into the
my
internet I
gosh,
gotta
the
go.
movies.
I
It's
gotta-
made for potheads too, man. Potheads have to
Yeah.
watch Kentucky Fried Movie and go, "Yeah, man, this is the greatest movie ever, man."
It's basically a bunch of vignettes of stuff you would hear on television at late night, the commercials and such like that. And they lead into A Fistful of Yen, one of the greatest martial arts films ever made.
True. I wonder, can we share a clip on our computer? Will it let us do it that way? Do you know? I don't know if it'll work like that. I have the clip of the
You could.
clown.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can pull it up and then share or
if
present.
you want to try it, we can try it. And
And try. Where's the work? I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can get it to open. I have it as a clip.
I
They
got
told me no.
Let me find it.
But I promise it's still safe. It's just Ed.
Yeah. You find yours, Pops. I'll find mine
Let me
here
see if I can get the
because I use it for my show sometimes.
volume all the way up.
No, not that one. Here we
Yeah,
are.
it's not
Who's going to be the
working.
fastest
Still.
Zucker in the West? Oh, here we go.
okay,
I think I found mine. So, where are you? I got too many of these things. There's that one, but I don't want that one. It's not bad, but it's just.
well, I've got a perfect clip to play while we're waiting. I'm gonna go ahead.
Clip us, buddy.
I am.
Well, we're waiting.
Very good. Very good.
No, no, no,
We
no, no,
need
no,
that.
no, no.
Well, you're getting us off.
Oh,
No,
we
but, I mean,
derailed the Big Lebowski train for sure, haven't we?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, no. I mean, it
It
kind of.
wouldn't be a pop talk if we weren't derailing anything.
Oh, well, here's
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Derailing things is basically in
What the-
the Big Lebowski spirit.
We should honestly, Mike. This should be like the tagline to Pop Talk.
Yeah,
Topics where we're going. We don't
need no
topics.
topics.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, we need that for that one.
I mean, we start off good. I'll admit it. We start off good, and then we see that shiny light at the end of one road, and we go, "Let's follow that light."
Ooh,
Well, here's
piece of
one.
candy. Ooh,
I got
piece
one
of
in there. I got one in there. Ha ha!
All right.
I beat you, Pops. In your face.
Moscow in flames, missiles headed toward New York.
Oh, there it
Film
is.
at 11.
That's one of the tamer ones. I gotta still find the other one. So I'm still looking. I did
But
a
you know
couple,
what?
oh,
The
here we
thing
go.
is-
I found it. There we go.
All right, first I'm going to show Pops.
You got it.
All right, StreamYard. Come on. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
StreamYard's not one to play nice. What's going on? Why it won't do that?
Hmm.
You can take it down. It's not one that. It's like it's buffering.
Yeah. What's mine like?
Well, let's find out. All right.
This movie is untamed, man. I'm telling you now, it is crazy.
Baron, is that from Fistful of Yen?
That's a fistful of yen. Yep.
That's Fistful of
Okay.
Yen.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
I know what I'm watching.
So Fistful of Yen is a movie
Oh,
within a
you
movie.
do.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, it's one of those things that makes you do this, Mike. Mike, this is what it does for you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play it.
If you're good at
Was there
reading
audio?
lips.
Because I didn't hear anything.
No, there was no audio. It's
No,
it's just mouthy.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Didn't know if StreamYards was acting up again.
No. Oh yeah, it is.
But-
good movie.
Bush is mentioning a futile and stupid gesture. Netflix 2018. It's about Doug Kenny and National
Mhm.
Lampoon, Animal House, and Caddyshack. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
That is a good film. Yeah, definitely catch that out. Doug Kenny, that's a sad story with him. But,
Yeah, the man who fell off the cliff, right? If I
Yep,
remember.
mhm.
Yeah, that is.
and then
great.
they made fun about it in National Lampoon.
Yes, they
because,
did. Right.
because he wanted that way. You
right.
know.
Right.
And I do want to say hello to
I
Nova Vaughn.
DM'd it to you, Mike, so you can have it through DM.
Okay. All right.
You can try it on your end. It'll work. It's only like 6 seconds, so you won't get copyright flag for it.
No.
Classic comedies. Oh, it's my sweet spot.
Oh, we need to do Kentucky Fried Movie, and you know what? We need Paul to watch.
I never
it. He
watched that, but
Oh yeah, that's like mid to late 70s. It came out.
77.
Wow.
77.
Oh,
Yeah.
when they didn't give a crap about what was in the movies, they just went.
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
it's completely off the. It is. This
well,
is
Are you sure this is?
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Yeah.
Just like half the time in this movie, you're like, "What the heck am I even watching?" It's just, it's crazy. Yeah.
That's what yeah, I mean, yeah, Bill Bixby's in it. I think Donald Sutherland is in it. I mean, there's some big stars that are in this film, surprisingly. And it's just quick little vignettes. Just little vignettes. The longest one is A Fistful of Yen. But other than that, it's like Cleopatra Jones. I mean, making fun of the black exploitation films.
And you're never
yeah,
going to hear eyewitness news and not laugh a little bit inside after seeing a movie like this. Holy crap!
Yeah.
It just messes you up.
The popcorn you're eating has been pistoned. Film at 11.
I mean, let's also just make sure we pay homage also to the great Mel Brooks for his collection of amazing films. Also, I mean, from Young Frankenstein to History of the World, Spaceballs, Men in Tights.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet.
That's Paul's clip, but this is a more appropriate clip.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it.
Never gets old.
Never gets old.
And neither does this one.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
To answer that question, there's
Yo.
8 of
There's
8 of them.
Yo. And then there's this scene.
All right. Adding it now.
Shit! I hate it when I get my Schwartz twisted.
So when we did Blazing Saddles, we didn't get any copyright flags or issues from YouTube until the very, very end. The Dom DeLuise sequence with the music. The music played too much, and they flagged the music. So I had to mute it and trim out. Like I would. What I did was I kept trimming out like 2 seconds at a time, so I could get it small enough till it'd go through. So it took me about 3 weeks to figure out how to get it through. But it didn't flag any of the stuff that we talked about early on.
Wow! Did they?
Wow!
Did you have the original version?
Yeah. We were smart. We didn't play N-word parts. We didn't do certain. We skipped around a couple pieces, but no, we showed some stuff and did pretty well getting through it. And I had feedback on it for about several weeks of people who had never watched it before and stuff like that. Which is why you want to do it, right? You want to just introduce stuff like that to people who've never seen it.
And introduce them to the producers. The original one was Zero Marcel and Gene Wilder and Kenneth Mars. I mean, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
So, Paul, do you have to keep like a ledger list of things that everyone's recommending to you? Because
I'd like to see my list.
Why?
Oh, poor guy. I haven't seen the list.
Pops,
there is a list.
He's got
and
I am
Predator
glad
very
you
low
asked.
on his list. It's
This-
so
I have
tough.
2 lists actually.
Oh, he's got 2 lists.
Grown.
Yeah. One he
Yeah,
shows
of
Doom
movies
cock
I've
and one he
never
doesn't.
seen. One of movies that will. Oh, he's seen both. He has seen both.
Okay.
All right, here's the
You just made the
list
list.
as it stands right now of movies I have never seen.
And Paul,
Tell me
since
when
you're
you're
going to be
ready to
showing
scroll
your list, how about you also give your ranking and where the Big Lebowski stands on your list?
No.
All right, let me pull up the haven't seen list first, then I will.
Okay. Pulling it up.
Tell me when you're ready to scroll down.
Go ahead and start scrolling.
Well, hold on. We can eliminate these 2 now. So I have seen those.
You haven't seen Short Circuit? Okay, by the way,
Hold on.
take
Forget about
Circuit
Short
2
Blade
off that
Runner.
list.
How does Blade Runner on the list? We need to prioritize his list.
I was just never
We have to get
interested.
some. We have to get a couple
Short
things
Circuit-
off the list.
Don't
Godfather
bother with
has
Short
never been
Circuit
watched?
2.
Don't
Back to
bother
the
with Short
Future.
Circuit 2.
No, you do
Don't
not need to
even
watch
bother
Short Circuit
with
2.
it.
Not 2.
All right,
not
fine.
2.
Fine.
It's like the second Caddyshack and the second Airplane movie. They're irrelevant. They're
Right.
obsolete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want.
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
It's a
85.
Wonderful Life. Oh my God,
man.
Braveheart.
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
I was just
Forbidden
talking about Blazing
Planet,
Saddles. He's the
Ugly?
noob on Blazing Saddles.
This is a lot of
Shawshank
work, right?
Redemption.
Stargate, Planet of the Apes.
Bull Durham. You haven't seen Bull Durham?
Oh,
Beverly Hills Cop.
Bull Durham is
You got to
so
see
good.
Cop. You got to put Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 on there.
Yes.
Yeah,
The second
two was
one.
good.
Yeah.
3. Don't
need
watch
both
3.
of them.
Skip 3. 3 is not very good.
Yeah, don't do 3.
Okay.
Just do 1 and 2.
The beginning of 3 is good, and then everything goes.
Yeah.
All right, so those
Yeah,
are all the movies I have not seen. Now let
So
me bring
can I
in
say
the
something
list
real
of one.
quick?
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead, Whoopa.
I think I might have missed one, but on that list, I think the only movie that I've watched is Pulp Fiction.
So you haven't seen a lot of those movies either.
Yeah, just last week I watched Tombstone for the first time.
What'd you think?
And speaking of Tombstone, next Wednesday on Pop Talk, we're going to be doing a live watch party and live commentary as we're watching the movie for anybody who wishes to join us on the panel. And the reason why? It's currently free on YouTube.
I'm actually doing my 20th plus. I've lost count at this point. Rewatch of that movie.
Well, isn't
I
that
will be
amazing?
there for that one.
Aren't we special?
Hey, it's one of the greatest westerns in my opinion. All right.
Absolutely.
Yep. You know,
Yeah, it is. It's a great Western. Yeah.
All right, let me bring in the other list. These are
Okay.
ones that start. These are ones for those that don't know that started on the first list, but I've seen them now and I've ranked them. And I decided to include some
Pops.
Get ready, Pops.
Sit down. Sit down. Make sure you get your seatbelt on.
Before I bring it
Should
up
I
on
take the
screen.
camera off, or you want to see my reaction? It's
We
one
want
or
to see the
no.
reaction.
Okay,
Yeah, we
well,
want to
just
see
say
the
that.
reaction.
But you better hold on to something.
Yeah, take a
for the
nitro
record.
pill. You're going to need a nitro pill. Even if you don't have heart problems, you're going to need to have a nitro pill.
Valium.
I just want to
Okay.
state for the record, I am sorry for absolutely nothing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's unapologetic.
You should.
There you
Yeah,
go. There
yeah,
you go.
schmuck.
That's the right thing to say.
Oh, wait
Now
till
we
you see
see
the
this
list.
What am I seeing? Am I seeing it in order of like you rank them
Yes,
as your
this
favorite?
this
Is at the top?
Yeah, my favorites to least favorites. And again, tell me when you're ready to scroll down.
Hold on, is
Okay, I'm
that
sorry. That says Dune 1984.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the original Dune.
Yeah.
is that Chippendale like the movie that just came out with the little
Okay, hold on.
little guy?
No, it's the
Jaws.
dance. He actually went to see the dancing movie. He liked that one. He was in the Navy.
You have Jaws below Sonic 2,
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Dune 84.
Oh, wait till you see the
Godzilla
stuff
movie.
down the bottom of the list.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you have Dune 1984 above The Last Starfighter. Okay, I don't know,
Yes.
Paul, if I can even talk to you at the moment right now.
See,
I don't even
somebody
know.
clip this.
Triggered.
Somebody clip this.
We got triggered. People are triggered.
And look at where Predator and Alien is.
Holy
I just
crap!
finally
Alien and
saw
Predator are way down there.
But I'm like,
You
no
don't have
way.
Rubber as number one? What's wrong with you?
Rubber is not number one. Rubber is its
Well,
own
that is
category.
incorrect. It should
Yeah.
only be. It should be
Star
number
Trek
2
five
only
should
to
be way
Sharknado.
lower.
Okay.
Lower than that.
He has all of the Matrix below Star Trek 5.
I know. What the heck? Matrix 1 is the
Oh.
best. The
Oh,
best.
now he's adding Destroyer and he's adding Red Sonja.
Okay.
Phil?
How's that, Phil?
They're at the bottom
And
of the
let's
list
see.
now.
What?
Oh my gosh.
For now.
Let me
Like,
see it again, then
man,
I'll
like,
re-rank
it's-
it. Okay.
That's your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's
Now.
your opinion, man.
That's like,
What's below the dividing line of badness?
I know, but I'm not gonna.
I
I'm not gonna
I
tell.
don't-
I'm. Everybody, wrap your head in duct tape.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I got my tinfoil hat on.
not going to be good enough.
Hold
This
on
is
to
what's
something, pops.
Star Trek 5 is still way too high on that list. That needs to be way.
Okay, what are we saying
No,
about the level of badness? I missed something. I'm sorry. There gonna be a line or
Okay.
something like these are
If I'm
fives. This is
ranking
a
it,
line.
if I'm ranking it below this, I hated the movie.
Oh, this is the
literally
stuff that you
everything
hate.
Above, yeah,
You would
stuff
watch
that I
the
hate
stuff
is below down
above.
here.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the stuff at the
everything
top you
else I
would
can
you would
find
watch
something
again.
redeeming about it.
Something
Okay.
redeeming. Boy, you were so
Wow.
interesting with your language choices. Okay, let's keep
That
going.
being this is it. This is the bottom.
Yeah, that's
Although
the list,
I
man.
am-
One movie. Daddy
I
Joke
am
2.
gonna move Godzilla Raids again though down here because it was boring.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Don't tell
Well,
me
you know, you could have gone Control F.
Fred
just
agrees with me.
cutting.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so that was the only movie that was down below the lines of badness?
Can we go back to the top of this list?
Oh yeah, I knew you wanted to see that.
Okay.
I
All right.
need to look
Yeah.
this
So
up,
far,
sorry.
Wrath of Khan is pulling number one.
That's a great
Yeah,
movie.
that's fine. Well, you're obviously a sci-fi guy. I got it. And then your Godzilla fetish, you'll grow out of it at some point and come back to Earth. It's okay.
I'm glad Chris. said
Terminator
it.
2, that is a
But-
great movie.
But while I love Conan, I'm having a hard time with Conan Sonic 2 in particular being above Jaws of all things.
Right?
Jaws,
And RoboCop.
Jaws, man. RoboCop 2.
Okay.
We wouldn't
all
even
of all
have-
of them are good movies. All of
The
them are
Last
good movies. I just
Starfighter.
Oh, that's
let
a
me
great
let me
film.
clarify something real quick. This
an
is not
Iron
me.
Eagle. It's above
This is okay.
Predator.
Let me clarify.
Look at the pain.
This
Look
is
at the
not-
pain you're causing, Paul. Look at the pain you're causing.
The man that hasn't seen either Godfather film or Shawshank Redemption or
Let me
Pulp
clarify
Fiction.
something.
I was like,
I
wait
am
a
not
minute.
saying
You need a watch party for
that this
Pulp
is
Fiction.
not a ranking of how good the movies are. This is a ranking of how I enjoyed them.
Doesn't make it better, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Okay. So that is. Well, I will say it makes it better because it is a qualifier of enjoyment versus quality. Because I can say
Yeah.
a movie can be great, but I'll never watch it again.
Right.
Yeah.
As a film critic, and I'm literally like, I was the credentialed film critic, and I make them angry and trigger them when I would say Philadelphia is the best film I've seen that I will never see again. And it just triggers them because they don't like that idea that you would love a film and also go, I would never sit through that. I would never sit through that again.
Right.
That's kind of why Predator is where it is, because it is a well-made movie, but compared to everything else I've seen of Arnold, I think it's kind of his most boring movie.
It's a boring movie?
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back. Ever.
How is it boring?
Come on, what do you mean?
Predator be called a
trying to say? You don't like Arnold, huh?
Okay. To be fair, third worst boring, since Conan the Destroyer and Red Sonja are below it. And Predator is here because I don't do horror movies.
Here's my prediction: if I can fast forward the list in about 10 years, and then definitely by 20, half his list will not have aged well. He'll realize that all these Harry Potter movies and Godzilla movies, they come down to earth rather quickly.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
First off, hold on. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers? What the hell, man? You should be putting time out for that alone. Like, no.
Don't give Mike ideas.
Hey, Pops, he was in the Navy after all.
What?
He was in the Navy after all.
Raw Chippendales.
In the Navy.
Okay, and again, he has Chip and Dale above The Last Starfighter. Paul,
Yeah.
speaking to you right now.
What did you not like about The Last Starfighter?
The Last Starfighter
I loved it.
Terminator.
Here's the thing. I love all of these, at least above, for the most part, above the dividing line of badness. I loved all of these movies. It's just a matter of which do I like more.
Okay.
Man, the Big Lebowski should be up higher on that list, man.
I agree.
Well, I can't rank something I don't understand. So that's why it's here for now.
Paul, you still haven't even seen North by Northwest, have you? Oh.
What's that?
Oh, man.
Yeah, any Hitchcock.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
So, all right, so here's the thing, too. I will say this about someone like Paul, who's younger. So life experience does matter in the sense of being able to appreciate a film like a Big Lebowski or something like that. Like, when I don't know. I can get it, Paul. I'm not going to bag on you too much more than I already have. But I have side issues.
Yeah, Paul, I'm just having
okay.
fun with you because when I was a kid, we're talking 6-7 years old, I would rewatch The Last Starfighter over and over again. Like, it was up there with Star Wars in terms of rewatchability.
I understand.
With me as a kid. Because I was born late 80s, so I was a child of the 90s, really. And The Last Starfighter was still newer in terms of sci-fi. And I couldn't stop watching because it had that Star Wars-esque kind of feel to it in some ways. So I'm just messing with you, but I got no hate towards you on that one.
I know, guys.
I'm messing with you too when I do this. Friends, do you know someone who likes to play a game on easy mode because they say it helps progress the story of the game? If you do, please call this number 1-800-555-NOOB.
Or take whatever money you be giving to that phone number, buy your own video games, and play them however you want to because you're spending your own hardware.
No. Out you go, youngster. Out you go.
Everybody.
How about new?
And on that note, I think I'm going to go and start a Skyrim stream where I do openly use cheats and pretty much.
Remember, before you go, remember the old saying: you can either be right or you can be Paul.
Wow. Oh, Paul.
I will say this.
Paul is more fun.
Really.
I'm going to defend Paul. And Paul, I got you back on this with Skyrim. One of the beauties of Skyrim is its easy modability in terms of all the various mods out there. So
Yes.
that does make
Thank
that
you.
is a big appeal towards Skyrim. Is it's so moddable easily.
You still
Just
need
watch
to
your
die in
mod.
Skyrim. Yeah, you still
Just
need to
watch
die in
your
Skyrim.
mod, buddy.
Yeah. Don't let what happened yesterday happen.
Oh,
Was
God,
it? No, was it
no.
yesterday? I thought it was a couple of days ago. But
That was a couple days
Well,
ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so for-
whatever.
For those that don't know, I was having this weird bug where one of my followers was getting attacked by my other followers, and I tried to fast travel out to prevent that from happening. I fast traveled to this one place and find that the follower, the one that was getting attacked, suddenly has no clothes. And this is a very beautiful woman, too.
How many?
Paul had to close his eyes. Try to shut the game off.
I had to cut the signal to the stream for that, because there's no way I'd be able to fix it on the fly like that. So,
Booby.
That's what she
Yeah.
said.
Mobs.
Here, I can take the heat off of Paul for a second, because I've never told anyone this, but I'm pretty sure that it'll upset many of you.
Get that
I have
ready.
never watched RoboCop,
God,
but I have
What?
watched the remake.
Oh,
God.
dude,
Thank you.
man, dude,
Oh.
dude.
Okay, the funny thing is, I've seen both RoboCop, between RoboCop, the original one, RoboCop 2, and the remake.
Why?
And obviously, the first RoboCop is way better. There are aspects of the remake I liked, but in general, it wasn't good.
Yeah,
It didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't the same. It was.
It
There was
wasn't the
something
same.
special about the first RoboCop. They couldn't capture it again.
Mm-hmm.
No, they could. Well, they tried to make it into a high octane action flick.
Yep.
That's essentially
you
what
did-
they tried to do.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
you
not what it
didn't
was.
care about the. I guess I can't even remember. I've watched it once, but it was his name still Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah, he was still. Yeah,
Yeah, see, I couldn't care about that guy. Nothing about his character made me want to care about him, like I did the first one.
well, I do like the actor who played Murphy in the remake, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good
Yeah,
actor. He's
Joel-
been in a lot of
Joel
military
Kinnaman.
stuff and everything. So
Yeah, he played Flag in Suicide Squad. That's
yeah,
Joel
I mean,
Kinnaman.
he's been in a lot of roles that I've liked him in. So I can't hate on the actor.
Well, I don't want to hate on the actor. I'm
no,
just
we're
talking
not
about the
hating on it.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so some people
Right.
like to associate the actor with the character in the movie. Some people do,
No,
not me,
I don't.
but some people
I don't.
do. Yeah.
Unless it's Will Wheaton.
Oh yeah. No.
Shut up,
no,
Wesley.
no.
I mean,
But-
that's just so easy.
Yeah, it is.
It's too
It's
easy.
too easy. But I mean, Peter Weller. I mean, take a look at the cast. Ronnie Cox, with Miguel Ferrer was in there. Of course, Peter Weller, Nancy Allen. I mean, that
Mhm.
the original one had such a great cast, and I'd buy that for $1.
Speaking of RoboCop,
Oh.
they're coming out with a new RoboCop game next June.
Yeah, hopefully that one will turn out to be good.
Mhm.
Maybe even great, but we'll
If
see.
it's depending on how it is,
Yeah.
I hope
I'm
there's some
leery.
easy
I'm
mode.
leery.
I am too. But what's odd is the Mad Max game came out pretty nice. That they came
Yeah,
out
it
with.
did actually turn out pretty well.
I still haven't played that. I've heard it was good.
I'd buy that for $1.
Can I please have that clip?
Yeah, I can give it to you.
Thanks.
I'm
fine.
concerned
I'm
about
wanting-
Paul's. I was going to say I'm concerned about Paul's list because of the way his entertainment factor in all of this. He may find Godfather and Shawshank and even Blade Runner too slow for his taste.
Ooh.
So I'm concerned the appreciation factor won't really be there because you're talking about the first three. Godfather 1. By the way, you you can watch Godfather 3, but understand we don't hold it in regard.
Of course.
It is at least completes the story, but we don't hold it. It's 1 and 2, and then but Godfather 1, 2, and Shawshank are kind of 3 of the best of all time, and they're in their own thing. But it's a drama thing. It's like it's a different type of thing than the sci-fi stuff you have at your top of your that dominates your list. So
Right.
I'm just
Yeah, there's
I'm very
slow burn
concerned.
stories.
I'm very
Well,
concerned, Paul, because I'm
I
not sure
will-
what I'm going to do if you drop Godfather and Shawshank in your bottom list. I think I'd rather you
I
just
will
not
say-
see them right now.
I will say this. this is likely not going to cause any sort of comfort, but I will say this just so you understand where my mind works. It took me 2 watches to fully appreciate the first Ghostbusters movie. I saw the first Ghostbusters several years back on an in-flight plane. It was the first time I had ever seen it, and I remember ending the movie thinking, okay, that was all right, but I'm sure I would probably appreciate it more if I actually grew up with it. And I have a feeling that is where a lot of the movies that you guys think should be higher, you guys grew up with them, and I didn't, so I can never see them with the same eyes you did.
That's true to a certain extent, but from like an analytical point of view, what you find is with something like Ghostbusters, you realize that with the script in particular, there's no wasted time. You would start to appreciate the story and the script differently than what they can't capture again. What doesn't age well, or where I could agree with you, is some of the special effects and some of the different conceptual things like that. They are dated and whatever, and maybe not hold up as well. But
which that has nothing to do with it, though. The special effects, it was just Bill Murray's humor.
The type of jokes don't land. Okay.
Yeah, which I think that just boils down to personal taste.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm willing to concede personal taste. I got that. And with comedy, that is a thing. Oh, look, Mrs. Barron.
Hello.
Long suffering. Yep.
I'm sorry, ma'am, for any craziness you hear on my gaming streams from Phil.
Oh my gosh.
We're not associated with Phil McCracken, and anything he says is
it's completely on his
coincidental.
Yeah. Phil who? Phil who?
Why are you guys being mean to Phil?
He's mean to us.
Yes, he.
Yeah.
He's constantly bugged me for coupons.
Coupons.
Yeah.
Coupons.
Yeah.
It's
I will say, Paul, I will say, Paul, if you ever watch, so 2 Westerns I highly recommend you watch are obviously Tombstone. Another one is Open Range.
I'll add a third one to that, Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven
and Tombstone.
I'll add a 4th one. Outlaw Josie Wales.
The Quick and the Dead.
Wait a minute.
Shoot
the reason,
Hold on a
specific
second.
reason I brought up
I've
Open
seen
Range.
the whole like Clinton Williams.
I've seen Unforgiven.
Thing.
Okay.
I've seen Unforgiven. It was main evented by Stone Cold versus Dude Love.
The shootist.
Not the wrestling pay-per-view, Paul. The one with Clint Eastwood.
I mean, come on.
Well, the reason why I brought up Tombstone and Open Range is because they're kind of more slow burners with little pops of action, but it's more the story. So it's going to be more of a slow burn, but the story is what makes it. It's not the action. The action adds to it, but it's not the highlight of those westerns.
Right. And in all seriousness, I have seen Tombstone, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, good.
Val Kilmer, to me,
this is
makes
for
that
next
movie.
Week. Not spoil next week.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Val Kilmer win like an Oscar or something for that movie?
No, he wasn't nominated.
Nominated. I don't think he won.
He wasn't? Oh my, how was he not nominated for that movie?
I don't know.
He was nominated.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he got nominated, but I don't think he won. I'm looking.
If
that's the Oscars.
I don't want to hear who won because
trust the Oscars.
The freaking, I mean, the awards are a joke now, but probably even back
in the
then.
day,
But
it feels
still,
like there's so many times I'm looking back, like seriously.
I mean, he was not nominated even. No,
for loving Star Wars,
I think, right?
you should see the good, the bad, and the ugly, really, because that had some inspiration for George Lucas with Star Wars.
Okay. Nerdporial's also mentioned a whole different genre for sure, but Nerdporial's also mentioned all the Kurosawa films too.
Oh yeah, and another influence, yeah.
Yeah.
You have seen Sharknado though, right?
The question is, do I want to see Sharknado?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's unironically one of my favorite movies. It's bad, but bad in a good way.
I'd say only the first one. I mean, the second one has charm because Jared Fogle got eaten by a shark in that one. But,
I'm not.
I'd say just stay with the. If you're going to watch any of them, just watch the first one.
Baron, mute your headset for a second because I'm going to say something you're going to hate.
Okay.
I loved all the Sharknado movies because they were just so over the top.
Oh yeah, I mean they were
Well-
all over the top. But I'm just saying for Paul.
I thought he muted it in his head.
Well, I'm gonna.
I lied.
I'm gonna get off of here because for real, I want to actually try and get a good night's sleep tonight. But before I go, I'm gonna say one more thing that may or may not trigger Whoopa. One more movie I have never seen that I would like to. I have never seen Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Yo, you gotta watch Detective Pikachu.
That was a good
Okay.
movie. That
I
actually
haven't
was a
watched
great
it,
movie.
so
I
I
liked
don't
it.
know.
It's
All
a
right.
great movie. It has better animation than most of the new animation movies, and somehow they did it on a lower budget. I mean, it's live action, but a lot of the things are animated.
What?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Whoopa made by the same people that did the 2 Sonic movies?
I don't know who made this movie.
I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I'm not
So-
sure. I don't remember.
Gentlemen, any final thoughts on the Big Lebowski?
There were no
Dude
Whoopas, 0 out of
I need
10.
to. I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
I need a new rug, man.
You new rug.
This is what happens when you F
The
a stranger in the rear.
Right.
Right.
You see what happens, Paul?
And always make sure not to trash the wrong car.
Mhm. RP on the wrong person's rug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not cool.
No, it's not cool, man.
Pops, how about you? What are your final thoughts when it comes to the Big Lebowski?
Like I said, it's an unsung comedic gem for me. It's one of those, we talked about trying to get some of these highlighted and bring to people's attention. I'm glad that you did this as well to bring it to people that haven't seen it before. That's kind of what this should all be about. It should be part of what we're trying to accomplish, is to share the greatness and the passions and the history and the lore of cinema and that kind of thing along with it. The Coen brothers do have a unique style and taste. It wouldn't be for everyone. My wife wouldn't want to watch Lebowski again. She gets the joke. She enjoyed it, but it's not her thing, not her flavor of comedy that she goes for. I kind of have it at about an 8. I have it pretty high, actually, for my standard, because I'm a really tough critic. So it's probably about an 8, maybe a little bit 8.5. It's in that sort of realm for me where it's very rewatchable. I enjoyed it. I've watched it twice in the last 5 days, and I've enjoyed it as much now as I did when I saw it in theater. Loved it. Love it.
Nice. Okay, Paul, how about you? What's your rating out of 10?
I'm going to withhold that until I watch it again. Which, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this movie again
Oh my god.
sometime very soon, maybe even tomorrow on my own channel. But for now, I'm going to do question mark out of 10.
Question mark out of 10. You hear that?
Question mark out of 10. Yeah, okay, all right.
Get out of here, youngster.
You can't even commit to a number.
Come on, Paul.
And I'm just giving you a
Can I
hard
just
time,
say?
Paul.
Can I just say
Yeah.
real quick? You guys missed a huge opportunity to use a movie of this quote against me to all of my, as you say it, bad rankings. You could have told me, well, that's like your opinion, man.
And that would be too easy.
Well,
That would be
yeah.
far too easy.
Mike works too hard for a
I
punchline.
know, but the jokes that are too easy are my favorite type of jokes.
There we go.
He's too young.
Explained everything right there.
Mhm.
He'll
I'm
grow up
clipping that.
eventually.
I'm clipping that.
Mhm.
Do it. And send me a copy.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Well, I'm interested
Pop-
to see your list grow, Paul. Thank you so much for sharing. I had never seen it before, so I'm happy to be included in the club that knows more about the inner circle of
Absolutely.
Paul's brain.
Yeah, that
And-
face does not say he's happy to know.
Yeah.
And we're very happy that you had the same pain look that the rest of us had. So welcome to the club.
Yes.
Yeah. But by the way, that's probably the same pained look that you gave Doomcock too.
Yeah. Poor Doomcock, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Cash, out of 10, what would you rank The Big Lebowski?
Well, I'm a hard grader, so 8 out of 10. It's a great movie.
All right.
Wow. That's
Yep.
high praise. It is. I'm
I
not
know.
being snarky.
It was quite enjoyable. I got a lot of good laughs out of it.
Nice. And Whoopa. Out of 10, what would you rank the Big
Whoopa,
Lebowski?
whoopa, whoopa.
I'm here. I'm here.
There he is. All right.
I don't know. I don't rate a lot of movies. I feel like I usually go, and I feel like I usually go with like, I don't go off of, I guess, school grades. I usually go with like 5 being average.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think I like if 5 would be like a movie. I'm like, it was okay. So like probably not something I would want to watch again. Probably not something that imprinted a lot on me. But
Are
not
you in
something that comes back.
Yeah, I know, right? Where is he? He's in a hall.
He's in the Pokeball.
He's in the bathroom.
Oh, sorry.
I told you
Sorry.
I finished that Pokeball.
Dude, we told you not to throw the Pokeballs in the bathroom, okay?
Don't-
Come on.
Don't use the Pokeball as an 8-ball, okay?
I was just concerned Whoopa was taking us to go Whoopa. I was just a little concerned about where we were in his house. I was like, what is happening?
Funny story about that. Dad, who is a pastor, and he wears one of those mics that comes around like that when he's at the pulpit, nearly did that once at church. Because I'm out in the sanctuary practicing music, and I hear him talking through the speakers, and I go back. He's not in the bathroom, thankfully, but he's in the kitchen. And then he realizes, oh no, what if I had gone into the bathroom with my mic on in the church?
Mm-hmm.
I've known people who've done that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told this on air, Paul. So because of the story, it's being so closely related to your story. I got married the first time. So back then they were VHS recordings. So there was a camera in the back and a camera up front. Because I was up front for the wedding, I had the mic on me. Now that's it. I'm going to be the one editing this footage, so no one else is going to see it. I didn't turn my mic off. You can hear me running down the hallway, going to the bathroom, and then coming back. Now, you don't see anything because there's only one camera in the back of the thing. But yes, been there, had it happen. Fortunately, it's something there's no footage of or anything like that. But yes, it can happen.
Anybody who's been involved in this has had a hot mic incident. I can tell you that for sure.
Yep.
Whoopa, did you give this movie a 5? I'm sorry, I got confused with the ranking system.
No, I think I'd give it 7.5 right now.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're good. We're all about the same. Okay.
All right. And Anonymous, out of 10, what would you rank the Big Lebowski?
I'm going to rank it differently, or not differently. I'm going to give it a 1 to 10 rating, but I'm going to rank it as the genre it's in. I'm not going to rank it against like my favorite sci-fi movie or my favorite, drama or whatever,
Yeah.
So the category it's in the style, it's an excellent movie. I know it's story driven. It's a thinker sometimes. So, but it was done so good and so excellent. I'm going to give it a 9 for that type of thing. There's, like you said, there's a lot of stinkers out there that do this kind of route, and they didn't pan out. They weren't as good. So this one deserves a pretty high praise. I'm going to leave it at that.
Nice. And Patriot.
I'm going to give it a solid 7 for a first view. The ranking will probably go up after like 1 or 2 more viewings because I like to look for the more nuanced stuff. So initial viewing, like 48 hours old, I'm giving it a solid 7.
Nice. As for me, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. This is a movie I'd never get tired of watching. I can pop it in, or even if I see it on TV, sit down and watch it at any moment that it's on and still get enjoyment out of it. Well, I'm saving you for last, mister.
Oh, you were? Oh, well, you go last.
I was saving you for last. Gosh, it's like having Phil McCracken in here.
Well, you didn't let me go,
Cash hates redheads and elder abuse here.
Yeah. He always likes to say I hate redheads. It's funny. Oh, and Grace Jones for some reason.
Grace
too.
Jones, yeah.
No, he changed his mind on that.
Oh, that's
all right.
right. He did, yeah.
All right, Barrett.
Now
All
it's
right.
my reality. He forgot about me. He's making up.
No. What have I told you? You and Cash are co-hosts. I gotta
That-
save one of you for the end.
Okay, well, let me know next time. Okay.
No, it's
okay.
like me letting Paul know that we're gonna be the heel tag team.
You're gonna keep bringing that up, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not dropping it.
If we can if we can get our internet stuff fixed, I'm going to get my revenge.
We'll see.
No, again, I kind of go like with Arnold Moss and all that when looking at this is what the genre is and how it fits and such like that. When I do it, again, I would go pretty high on this one. I'd say I'm like Cash and the others about an 8. I'd say an 8 on this one because the banter between them, how they work together, John Goodman and Jeff Bridges, how it just seems so. Like you're really there watching two people, and of course it had some good laughs in there. So I'd say 8. This was a very good comedy, very good Coen film, even better than Fargo.
All right. So I think we'd all agree that we would definitely recommend The Big Lebowski to anyone who's been curious about the movie itself, or even for someone who's never seen a Coen Brothers film.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it is. I think it's not as entry level to Coen as easily as Fargo would be. Fargo is a lot more digestible for like a normie.
Yeah.
No Country for Good is probably also a better, for a normie. This one's kind of nuanced and kind of weird with the pot smoking, the drug sequence, things like that. It's like not everybody will laugh as much and get it. Plus, and I don't know, I'm getting old, so I watch almost everything with subtitles. You start to pick up on a lot more of the lines and some of the jokes and the dialogue versus sometimes people are just not, they're not movie people. They just miss a lot of the stuff that we're quoting like off the cuff.
This is how they watch movies nowadays.
Yeah, it's one of those the kind of comedy. It's a thinking man's comedy.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, smart comedy. You have to think about it. It's not like smacking you in the face with a fish kind of comedy. It's completely different. And if you're not paying attention and you're not letting it sink in, you're going to miss a lot.
Definitely. So I do want to thank you guys for coming on tonight's show. Really appreciate it. Pops, thank you for taking the time to come on, and don't ever be a stranger. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and extend the invitation to next week's live commentary to Tombstone. And
well, I wish I could. You know how I am. You have to schedule me out 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes. So next Wednesday at this time, I will be on with Ryan Roger Athay. I'll be doing another round of reality based. So that'll be my Wednesday night. And then the Wednesday after that, the 14th and 21st, I kind of have open for other like possibles. So I would say I'm like 50-50 on those dates. But if you let me know what you might do on those dates, I might be able to join.
How high a rising star are you, Pops?
Sorry?
How high a rising star are you?
I don't know. I don't know what number I was.
Oh, I'm 280. I remember that. I'm going to put it on my bio. I'm 280 on the rising
stamp
star.
it on his forehead.
I don't. I really don't know. He likes to joke about my dossier because he's gone literally into years of the work that I've done, like dating into like the radio show work and writing reviews. He knew about the Tampa Dispatch reviews I wrote. I mean, he knew about all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, he's done his work. I didn't tell you that. So I was more happy to come back on the show and chat some more if he wanted to. So that's Wednesday. Yeah. Tombstone. I don't know if you can get a hold of Stone Loki. We have a debate on whether or not Unforgiven or Tombstone is the better film. So we will hash that out amongst ourselves. But he's a Tombstone person. If you want to get a hold of Stone Loki and see if he can fit it in, he normally has a Wednesday night show. It's a comic book roundtable, but you never know. He might not.
yeah, I was gonna say normally he has comic book roundtable with 24
and Clobberin.
Yeah,
him and Clobby.
Worst thing that happens is people say no. I always tell people you gotta ask. Yes, I can't do it this week, but I could do it this week or something like that. You just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll reach out to him and see what he says.
Yeah.
I've had him on the channel before, and it's always been fun to have him on the channel. I
Yeah,
enjoy
he's
having
wild.
you on the channel as well, Pops.
I'm glad I was able to make it. I'm glad to be here. And, I love you guys, and it's just such a fun thing to do. Like the comic book nerddom on stare. I just love it. This is the best. And then pick a movie like this, which is, I mean, I'm not saying normies don't appreciate it. But it's not like I can roll up in the break room and just start talking about Big Lebowski with anybody. Those people look at you like you're completely nuts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or
mhm.
half the people
Like,
won't see it
I
or
don't
wouldn't
get it.
watch it.
Mm.
Yeah. What'd you say, Anonymous? I'm
It's
sorry.
like most people are like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
So
yeah, throw a rock in the middle of a crowded room, and
but you made me pull up Tombstone to
backwards.
find out. Yes, that no, Doc. He did not get Val Kilmer did not get a nomination for Oscar. That was the year Tommy Lee Jones won for The Fugitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the nominees were DiCaprio for What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Ralph Fiennes for Schindler's List, John Malkovich for In Line of Fire, and Pete Postlethwaite for In the Name of the Father. Now, I don't know that I've seen that.
I don't think I've seen that.
I know it's a oh man, what's his name? He's the guy with 3 names. Daniel Day-Lewis. That's a Daniel Day-Lewis film, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Is it about like North Ireland?
Yeah, it's an IRA film, right?
Yeah, I think it's an IRA film. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it, so I can't pass judgment on it. There's no way Malkovich's role deserved a nomination over Val Kilmer's, but Tommy Lee Jones was sort of like the fan favorite to win for The Fugitive, even though I would say Doc Holliday's better performance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say Tommy Lee Jones is the only real competition in that list, probably, in my opinion.
But Tommy Lee Jones. I'm sorry. I was just going to
say the timing of things, right? Because Baron, you'll remember that time, like The Fugitive buzz was this big deal. Everybody knew Tommy Lee Jones was going to win. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is that Tommy Lee Jones was playing Tommy Lee Jones. Val Kilmer was, actually going out and doing a performance.
Transformed. Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone's just playing themselves, they're doing a great job. But for the actual talent involved and work done, Val Kilmer deserved it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to go back and look at some of the lists of things that don't age well and things like that. So, but yeah. But, all right, guys, I'm going to work in a nap because I'll be doing a stream at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So I will be sleeping here for a few minutes. The boys from Japan, I will have Wakazashi Tea House and Ninja Jinja on with me to talk about Tokyo Comic Con. They were both at Tokyo Comic Con. So talk about the content that is exclusive to the Japanese. I was able to tap into them. So you'll have a busy day tomorrow with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And real quick, do you have anything else coming up on your channel too?
Oh, I'm always dropping. So the videos tomorrow is did an episode of the Santa Clauses. I watch it so you don't have to video, right? Because it's that bad. Did another Tulsa King video. I've been revisiting Batman animated series and the X-Men animated series. So you'll see some of those videos. More comic book stuff's coming. So yeah, there's always something coming. I'm trying to stay generating content pretty regularly. So
nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
And Baron, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I need to do work. Let's leave it at that. I'm having more fun with other people's stuff, so I actually get my butt in gear, do some stuff. I know Pops chided me not too long ago, so Pops, I'm going to do it.
Hey, listen, man, I understand life's getting in the way. I mean, you guys, trust me, if you've reached out to me, you'll know I only can stream certain days of the week. Even now, I still have a technical. I had all these videos that happened while I was on vacation, and people were like, your sound was bad. And I'm like, well, it was filmed like 7 days ago. I don't want to tell you guys. It just, I don't know what happened that day. It just, so life will get in the way. Things, you know what? Just have fun, Baron. And you know what? Some people don't want to do their own channel. Who cares? Do what you do to have fun.
I like doing my own stuff. I just got to get back in the gear for doing it. So, and that's my fault. But, you had that great talk, though, about Judge Dredd. So that was fun to listen to for.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Dredd's an underrated gem. Really is. And revisiting it with the guys was such a good thing, too, because it just made me appreciate the script differently, some of the history differently, because, I don't have a lot of 2000 AD comic books to reference and things like that anymore. Those are long gone. So it's good. And yeah. So, no, we love to take recommendations, too, if you got stuff. We're going to be doing So this Tuesday is Fat Man, the Mel Gibson Christmas movie.
Oh,
So
okay.
a lot of people hadn't seen that. Then we're going to do sort of an old school night. We're going to do Rankin and Bass. So we'll do like like the Rudolph and Santa Claus coming to town, just kind of an appreciation of the stop motion and Rankin and Bass and those kinds of things. Then we'll probably just do a best worst of the year kind of thing to wrap up, because that'll be our last talk hard for the year. So those are Tuesday nights at 5:30 Eastern time. So, yeah,
nice. Patriot, what do you have coming up?
So I'm working. I got an idea for a stream. It's going to be Expanse universe versus the Halo universe. Which one is actually more practical against a Covenant invasion? So I'm going to kind of do. I'm still doing research on both like universes to get more information on, ships and weaponry and tech and all this kind of stuff, tactics. So I don't have a stream set up yet because I wanted to do enough research to kind of present arguments for pros and cons of each side. But that's my next stream I'm going to be doing. I don't have a date set up because between my oral surgery that's going to be coming up and Christmas, it's going to be tricky. But that's my next stream. Keep updated. I will post a video update with an estimated time when that will happen.
Okay.
Mad respects for that. That's a great nerdy topic right there. Mad respect. That's some OG who would win between Superman and what. I mean, that's some good stuff. I like that. That's good stuff. Good talk.
My head almost imploded off of that one. It's like, okay, who would win this one?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And Whoopa, what do you have coming up?
I don't really have much coming up. I'm still sick and still having internet issues, so. I don't know. Excuse me. I should be, once I stop feeling like everything's spinning, I should be able to finish Pokemon, the new Pokemon, and do a review of that. I still have to do a review of the other Pokemon that came out earlier this year. And, geez, I got a lot of... I don't know if you knew this, but I like Pokemon. Not sure if you're aware.
No,
I never quite figured that out.
Yeah. That's something new.
That dizzy thing that you're suffering from, that's because you're being tossed in that ball.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
Not enough
air. I think Patriot left me out in the rain or something.
I try to make it as comfortable as I can in there, but you're in a Pokeball, so I don't have zero-G gravity invented for them yet.
But yeah, so I don't know when the next time I'll be doing something. I'm going to make a video eventually. I can tell you that. I'm going to be on this show called PACIFIC414 Pop Talk next week. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I've heard of that.
I've never heard about it.
I don't know.
I've never heard of it. I don't know. The guy sounds kind of sketch.
I heard they get some really great guests on that show. That's what I've heard.
What you want to do is you want to find Atlantic 404. That's what you want to find.
Okay.
Atlantic.
Wait, is that
Atlantic
like
808. Atlantic 808. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Atlantic Rim. Oh, okay. That was a great movie. Yeah.
I'm not going there.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Atlantic Rim with a porno.
Yeah, a phrasing.
How about you, Anonymous? What do you have coming up, brother?
I am working on my Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special video. I should be working on it now, but I'm here talking with you weirdos. So it's going to be a little bit
weirdo of all. I mean, what? Okay, go ahead.
What was that? What was it? No. Yeah, so it'll be a little bit late. I was hoping to get it done by the end of the week, so maybe Sunday or Monday. I don't know if I like dropping those on the weekend. I may wait till Monday morning and throw it down. But I am working on a new video, and that took me a while to figure out a new subject. But lo and behold, Marvel did it again, so I get to make fun of stuff. So watch out for that. And you can catch me on 540 Studios every once in a while, whenever I can get on there. Talk about other topics that are in the news and some politics sort of sometimes. So check that out.
Nice. Very nice. And Cash, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, Cash.
We are, well, actually, what's nice is they've been talking about some of the other people. We're going to be coming up with an Andor stream probably around early December. Before that, I was just really like, what do I want to play on stream? What is YouTube going to block? Are they going to get mad if I have copyrighted music in the game that I can't control? So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I got to, what's coming up with a gaming stream. Finally, this is finally because I was testing stuff, is Saints Row 2. So hopefully YouTube will be kind and not bother me.
Wait, what was the first game you were talking about?
The first game I was talking about was, I think it was still Saints Row 2.
Yeah.
What I've played before though on stream is the last thing I played was Turtles with Mike before that, and then we played the NES game, and we're like, we need our pain, so yes, because we don't play that easy mode, Paul. Okay, that easy mode that you love to do with your cheats in Skyrim. We may give you crap about that, but dude, come on. Normal difficulty, bro. Normal difficulty.
Suffer through it, Paul. Suffer through it.
Yes.
It builds character.
Yes. But yeah, no, I'm going to be working on that most likely this week, Mike, with Saints Row. And then when I do that stream, it's going to be long. It's going to be a long stream. So at least more than 4 hours. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's wanting people to do commentary.
I'll do my own commentary. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Baron dude. Yeah.
Weren't you reaching out, I thought, on that one?
Oh, no, I was going to do commentary with Evil West.
Evil West. Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of Evil West, I will resume play of Evil West at 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Okay.
I'll probably go from 7 to 9 tomorrow. I try not to keep those streams too long, especially on a weekday. And then after Thursday, the next thing that will be coming up is Sunday Morning Pop Talk, where I will be talking about some of the news, rumors, and we'll be giving our opinion on some of the stories for this week. I'll just have to look through it and see which stories that I want to discuss and find out everybody's take on it. Because that's the whole point of Pop Talk when we talk about the articles, is going through them and then getting everybody's take. We're not Hollywood insiders. We're just regular, everyday Joes who like our entertainment, and we know what we like in that entertainment, and we want to discuss what's going wrong with entertainment.
All right.
Or what's going right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. There are some things going right. I can tell you guys, I know how people feel about Ryan Johnson or Ruin Johnson. I have been enjoying the murder mysteries of Knives Out. And Knives Out 2, especially that third act, was really, really good. Or Glass Onion, a Knives Out 2 story, or whatever exactly what it's called. But I really enjoyed that movie. So there's still some films besides Top Gun out there that I have found that I've enjoyed. So
I've said it most this week. Devotion. Go see Devotion.
Christmas Story Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was actually a nice surprise.
Yes,
really was. Really was a pleasant surprise that was done the way it was. My wife and I both had a really good time watching that. And Devotion, we discussed Devotion. I actually had 2 more people today tell me about Devotion. So that's good to know. Have you guys tried any of the Indian films?
I haven't tried any of them.
But I haven't made myself watch it yet.
Yeah.
I've seen. I've skimmed through it. Everything looks great. The whole movie looks great. Good action scenes, and it's the subtitles that I.
Yeah, it's a rough journey with the subtitle thing because, and for those of you that don't know, in India their films are divided more by language. So, and there's this massive movement, especially in the South, to get away from the traditional Bollywood films, which tend to be full of a lot more fluff and Hollywood type of tropes and a lot of musical scenes and things like that. In the South, it's a lot more of traditional filmmaking and a lot more move towards action and things like that. But that means a lot of times for us, it's gone from their original language, let's say Tamil or Telugu, into Hindi, then gets English subtitles. So you're actually getting layers, and it can make watching them a lot more challenging than it would be for a national. But their filmmaking, I got to be honest, other than the direct to Netflix ones, their worst ones that have been recommended to me are better than almost everything now, with a few exceptions. That's how good their films are. Now, I admit they're recommending their good films. No one's out there. These people aren't knocking my door down to go, hey, listen, watch this crap like Americans do. You Americans like watching me suffer. Like every time I do a poll, I'm hesitant to do a poll at all because everyone wants to torment me.
Oh, we're all masochists, man.
Oh, it is brutal.
We want to make
and
you
I'm
hurt.
no Az. I'm like, can't you save this for someone who's like Az? I'm not even like Az. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this Santa Claus's thing.
You know, Pops, you have mentioned about me being a masochist, being a Cub fan, and
that's very true, my friend. That's very true. Which, by the way,
that's just poor decision making.
Well, you know, they get their hooks in us when we're young. What can I say?
I'm sad to hear that the Santa Clauses was such a stinker.
Bro, I am telling you, man.
You're telling me a remake of a movie that didn't need a remake isn't good?
I thought it was just going to, and actually someone put this in one of my comments was, I thought it was another movie. And I was like, okay, I did too. And then I see it pop up with episodes 1 and 2. And I'm like, oh no.
No, yeah, it was a series. And it's a
6
Disney
episode
series.
But the problem is I can't find anything that's really working. Like everything is cringy bad. Like everything is bad. It's so hard. It's so hard to get through.
Standard Disney schlock.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you hated the Guardians holiday special. I thought it was fine.
I didn't hate it, but I found problems with it that.
Oh yeah.
I've already have an idea for my thumbnail. I just watched Elf the other night. Started our Christmas season off right, you know. So and I was just coming out of the toilet and I thought about what my thumbnail would be, and it popped in my head. I'm going to have the clausometer down where it's down to 0. This movie did not fill me with holiday spirit at all. It was very cookie cutter, and it just wasn't.
No, it's generic Christmas.
It's generic.
It has a feel good feeling at the end, but it's not Christmassy for that reason. So
there was nothing about it that made me Christmas. No, with none of that. So now I had other issues with it, like the fight scene with the cops. Man, there was all kinds of problems with that. Every time I rewatched it, I found something else. I was like, my gosh, I think like the black lady that started out. Who started out firing her gun or whatever. I think they used her twice in the same sequence.
Oh, no.
Yes,
I don't know.
She rolled.
I didn't do a review. I thought about watching it again. If you're gonna make me watch it again, I'm gonna start breaking. That's how Werewolf by Night broke me. Like I didn't hate Werewolf by Night, but when I rewatched the fight scene, then I reached out to Abomination AJ. I don't know if you know this guy, but we did basically an EFAP of just the Werewolf by Night fight scene because it's Last Jedi bad. When you see it, you can't unsee it. It's like you have a dude that rolls on the ground, one guy's just standing there swinging in air. You're like, what the heck is happening? Like you don't, So I'm afraid to rewatch it now. Thanks for that.
It's bad. The guns are all fake. They have like there's no recoil. The slides don't recoil back. They have CGI cases coming out the other side of the gun. So you can see where the slide or the barrel is where the casings come out, but the casings are coming out of the other side of the gun because the slide doesn't go back. And there's no recoil. The old guy who does recoil recoils over his head. It's just they have to pretend because they don't have real firing guns that shoot blanks anymore. So
Thank you, Alec Baldwin.
And they're Oh, dang it, Barry! I was going to put that in my video.
Yeah, you can't unsee it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I got to stop talking about it. I'm going to ruin my video.
You're going to break it for me even more.
Yeah, there's more to it, but yeah, it's terrible. There's a lot of terrible stuff in this thing. I mean, yes, it's a meh Christmas special for me.
Where's the Knives Out 2 thing you guys are referencing? Because I won't pull. Isn't that on Amazon or no?
Yeah, it's going to be on. It's on. What is it? Theatrical release for a week, and then it goes to Netflix. So it should still be in theaters right now.
Okay, so Knives Out 2 is in theaters. Okay.
If you like a good murder mystery, the cast is very strong. It's yes.
I didn't hate the first one. I know.
No, I like the first one
my
a lot.
fanboy cred a little bit with some people who love to hate on it. I'm like, oh, well, it's fine. It's okay.
No, I liked it a lot. This one, if you like a good murder mystery, Edward.
Oh, it's
Norton,
called Glass Onion.
Yes,
Okay,
Glass
I got
Onion,
you.
Knives
That's
Out
why.
story. I think it's called, right?
I think so. Yeah.
A Knives Out mystery.
Mystery. That's it. Knives
Yeah,
Out
my
mystery.
wife watched that and she was describing it to me.
It's really
and
good.
To me, the plot or the whole thing sounded like Greedy with Michael J. Fox.
Kind of. You need to see it though, Anonymous.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just being described is not going to help you.
I might be able to convince my wife to go see that because it's PG-13. It's a comedy. She liked the first one. Maybe.
Yep. It was really good.
Devotion.
Really good. Yeah, I don't know. I might go see.
Did you guys see The Black Phone?
I heard good things about that from other people.
I love The Black Phone. Oh, Baron, you're gonna love The Black Phone. Mike, I think you will too. Anonymous, I'd love your thought on it because it takes place in like 1978, I think. It's like children kidnapping type story, and it's more like bad marketing. Like I think hurt it a little bit until the word of mouth got out because it's definitely a more of a suspenseful kind of meshy, heady film rather than Ethan Hawke in a mask, which makes I mean, the poster being like that makes no sense in the grand scheme of things. Other than the fact that you actually don't see his face except for just a few seconds. I highly recommend the Black
movie,
Phone.
right? This is
What's
more
that?
of a psychological film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And real quick, I do want to thank Jake D for stopping by tonight.
Yeah. Hey to everybody in chat who's been here. Nova was in here active for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Nova Vaughn, formerly known as Cobra Disney Jedi. Of course, old man.
He pulled a Paul, man. He pulled a Paul. Anyways.
Yeah.
We also had Tim's Talk here tonight with us. And as I scroll up, we also had Bush McFadden. Thank you, Bush.
Mighty Bush.
Bush had some great comments in there.
Yeah, he did.
He's pretty knowledgeable.
I wish that they would. I wish they would They would modify StreamYard so that we can comment back to them on as a guest.
I keep telling Phil though that California is still more exciting than freaking Delaware. So whatever.
Hey, you say that now. I'm pretty sure you're up to your monthly carbon limit. You better calm down.
You've been listening to Phil too long, Whoopa.
Yeah, seriously. Come on.
Yeah, and you'll go over that carbon limit if you have too many onions and beans.
Mike, do you have a Phil McCracken soundbite with the school board? Do you have that one?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna have to send it to you. I have an edited version, but I think it's a minute long. You can edit it down more. It's the school board meeting where they're like calling out names, and they actually get this person to call Phil McCracken.
I'd love to have it.
It's absolutely.
You don't mind.
Yeah,
Phil cries one tear of
you.
happiness.
It's full like 2 minutes or so. So I can find.
I also want to thank the
Nerd
Nerdtorial Life Form for stopping by. Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate it, brother.
It was a big night with Ryan.
Yes, Ryan Rodrathe.
Well, it's big night. Did he get lucky?
I also want to thank Kathy Skywalker. Thank you, Kathy. We also had Bone in the chat with us tonight. Thank you, Bone. And of course, the porn bots, and we also had Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Thank you, Tommy.
Oh.
Yeah. And we also had Apollomees Me. Thank you, Apollomees.
Oh yeah. Hail to Simi.
Great.
Love her.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us for this edition of Pop Talk. Sunday will be your normal edition of Pop Talk, where we will talk about some articles. I will sort through all the articles before I post Sunday's stream, but don't worry, Pop Talk won't be going away from its usual topic of formula where we talk about movies, television, TV, anime and all that. But I do want to start incorporating more editions of Pop Talk like this where we're talking about some of the great movies that are out there that you should watch and some of the great television shows that maybe some folks like Paul have never seen before and they're worth watching.
Porky's.
That was a rough list.
Yeah. If we had to have the ping, you had to have the ping.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for that. So as an OG, so let's do that real quick if you don't mind, Mike. What's an OG since we're a little older than the Paul? Was there a film like that where it's like you've heard it's a really great film but you haven't seen it on your list, something like that? You got something on your list you can think of where people keep telling you just haven't gotten to it, kind of thing? I was trying to think of something.
I know it. I know I do. I just can't think of something off the top of my head at the moment.
Yeah.
300.
You've never
seen 300?
I just can't get myself to get around to watching it. I own it. I went out and bought the stupid movie. But
Don't watch
haven't
that,
watched it.
but
I never seen it.
Great.
Yeah, I have to see it.
I'm gonna watch it.
You know what movie I've never watched? Platoon.
I haven't watched it.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Platoon's
all
good.
of it. I don't think I've ever watched The Last Starfighter,
Yeah.
actually. Starfighter,
Oh,
excuse me.
Cash, you piece of crap.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even heard of that movie.
The Last Starfighter?
Platoon is heavy, man. Platoon
yes.
is heavy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 300. The best thing about 300, if you didn't know, it literally is like shot for shot remake of the comic book adaptation. Like there are like actual frames of the comic book that gets it is almost like I tell people when we talk about the best comic book movie you have to exclude Sin City and 300 because they are quite literal adaptions. There's too much of it. It's almost like not fair to include them in the category.
Yeah, and just like 300, the sequel is not very good, and then the sequel to Sin City was not very good either. It's not. The stories are just meh.
How involved was Frank Miller with
sequels? Frank Miller, I think, was still involved in the sequel of Sin City, if I remember.
He's very of all of it. I think he is. Yeah. But Frank is obviously hit and miss anyway, just in life is how it is. He'd tell you that. He wouldn't even shy away from that.
Yeah.
Frank owns his demons. That's why I have such love for the man. Not only did he help get me to where I am in all of this stuff, just making it such an inspiration, but he also just owns your mistakes, man. You just like, I was a drunk and I was this and I was that and whatever. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
even on the coke.
There you go.
Those animated films.
Just snorting. I was doing,
turned out very well. The animated films turned out very well. Part
the part 1 and 2, they are very good. Yeah. Don't watch Killing Joke though.
Oh, I did.
Don't watch Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke
I already
wasn't very good. And when I saw it in the theaters with my brother and a friend of ours, and I was just like, the story just kind of.
You saw it in the theater?
Yeah, it was in the theater.
I did too. I walked out after the one scene and went and got my soda, went to the bathroom and debated whether or not I should go back in or not. I waited about 10 minutes.
With that girl?
Oh yeah, that was a scene.
Yeah, that's the one where Batgirl and Batman.
I left and I came back in about 10 or 15 minutes later and I watched the rest of it. The last half of it, of course, it's more in line with the comic book and it's fine. But that sequence, it about broke me, man. I was like, what in the name of Holy Hannah are we doing? I couldn't handle it. I had to leave for a minute.
I was so disappointed in that because I was looking forward to this animation and the fact that they were using Mark Hamill and all that. It's like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And then that first half was like, what the hell is this mess? But oh yeah, the Dark Knight Returns, the part 1 and part 2, really good.
Really good.
Yes,
Yeah.
Really good.
I've been itching to watch it again. It's a long watch, but it's worth it.
I can tell you what. I was going to say, if you haven't reread it, because I just did the video on the first 2, but I'm on like episode 5 of the Batman animated series.
Nice.
It just makes you appreciate good animation, like just the way the Batmobile is animated, the way they cue the music. I mean, it's only like 20 minutes long an episode. They get so much done in 20 something minutes that we can't get out of 4 or 5 episodes of most TV shows. It's both exhilarating because it's so good. It's also frustrating as all get out whenever you see the crap that's getting done. You're like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's just animation, especially like when you're digging into it and you're doing research. It's just so frustrating how lazy it can be and how ugly it can be. And people just go, "Oh, well, you don't like this? We put a lot of time and effort into it." Shut up.
Well, you suck at it.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Well, that's why arcade was such a refreshing thing to see with the animation. It's like that's why I gave it such a high review, because exactly what you're saying. The animation today has been so poor.
Lazy,
yeah,
man.
I can't
You
wait
look
for
at 80s, and then you look at like they have a nice animation studio even for He-Man, but of course He-Man had its problems. But the animation looked nice, just like Voltron, you know. But then a lot of this other stuff is just lazy. You see these faces, and we've had some of that in the past too. But one of my friends was like, "Why are you so picky about this?" I'm like, "Because I like quality, and this is not quality to me." Oh, well, no, don't make excuses for this. It's not quality. It's just not. You know,
Anonymous, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I can't wait for the X-Men 1980. It's 1987 or 90.
X-Men 97.
Yeah,
don't go there.
I
Don't
hope
go
they
there.
do it. I hope
Well, you know why? I'm being ironic, but
yeah.
The gay black dude that loves X-Men, he's such a big fan, and you're just like, you and your cat watching 92 over again? And what kind of scripts are you going to write, buddy? I guess we'll see.
Really.
Yeah.
We did a read-through, didn't we, Mike? We did a read-through.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And I will say this about the X-Men when compared to the Batman. It's the X-Men season 1 is so much weaker animation, but they are so trying to capture the comic books. They are so trying to dive into, you know, what the actual X-Men lore is. Whereas Batman is more of an interpretation. Those are original stories and things like that. So
that's
it is fun. It is fun to go back.
I would still say the X-Men animation is still quite nice compared to
compared to today.
Yeah,
it's still nice and it still holds up. I mean, you can watch old shows like Freakazoid. I don't know if Pops you remember Freakazoid. The animation is just it's good and the story is good. You go back to stuff like Mighty Mouse, even Chip and Dale. I have to even say the reboot that I watch all of DuckTales was still quality. Like Tenet as Uncle Scrooge was really good. It's still not as great as the original.
No,
I can't say that, but it was still quite enjoyable.
Yeah, Alan Young.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Alan Young was amazing as Uncle Scrooge. But Tenet did a nice job. He did, and it's really too bad that Disney doesn't care about stuff like Tron Uprising and other stuff that they could really put in. I just it's not that good. So. I don't know. I wish Disney would go back to a lot of their animation with Disney XD. There was some shows out there that Gravity Falls. I thought the animation wasn't bad for that show, and
even
more recent one,
even the silly Captain Simeon series that they had there, even that was pretty darn good with the animation, even with the stories as silly as the concept was with that. And great voice work.
And real quick, guys, we continue this conversation off stream, but I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on. Baron, thank you very much. Whoopa, thank you very much. Anonymous, thank you. Cash, thank you. Pops, it's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. Paul, even though we give you a hard time, it's always great to have you on the channel.
Paul,
and also, the Smoking Patriot. Thank you very much. And unfortunately, Crit wasn't able to join us because his PC is out of whack. So thank you, everybody. Have yourselves a great rest of your Wednesday. Hope to see you tomorrow night for the Evil West stream. And please subscribe to the panelists, follow the panelists on social media, and have yourselves a great night.
Where's my... I want my effing rug! You don't F a stranger in the A.
It ties
Talk
the room
to Phil
together.
McCracken.
Yeah.
Ties the room together.
Talk to Phil McCracken.
Where's my... I want my rug. Not fair.
I pee on your rug.
What does the stream have to do with your rug, Baron?
I was promised a rug.
I promise you
Hey,
nothing.
Mike, nice marmot.